Come on, guys. We're pros. Put everything on mute. What are we doing here? We're making dings in the background. We don't know what we're doing. and this is typically how we start our lives. So how can
blanket on me?
Raquel's stepping up her couch presence. She's moved on to like moving blankets into the picture. We got Jaris.
Yesterday I did a whole makeshift like studio up in my son's bedroom because I'm so sick of seeing the same shit every day. And there's not like the walls are bare, but I was like, oh well. So I mean, you saw when I spoke with Tom and Michelle, like I didn't have anything on my walls. It was a different view. I was looking at my son's bed and like the windows in a different side of my condo, but because I'm like so over it. So I'm just like, where can I move?
I don't even have anywhere to go.
Seriously, it's like, oh.
It's a great time to go skiing in Arkansas. We still haven't gotten mail since Saturday, so it's impressive. We're doing good.
I didn't see skiing in the Arkansas brochure.
No. You can ski down any side, I promise. They're not finished, so you're good.
Yeah. Jaris, was it snowing down there?
No, we just got a lot of ice.
Yeah, see, ours was like a mix where it was snowing, and then every now and then I'm like, it's really loud outside. So it was all the sleet, and then it stopped like in the afternoon.
But so many people around where I live, the surrounding counties, lost power.
Really?
Yeah. I still think some people are still without power.
Yeah, ice is heavy. It brings down the lines.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Well, that's where my new cell phone started Monday, and last I saw, it's still somewhere between there and here. So we're good.
All right, we're good.
Oh, this price mobile, all of it.
Oh, so we're live if everybody can comment.
Right.
Oh, they are. People comment.
Right.
Kelly just can't keep up.
Brian Schulman, Brian.
What's up, Brian?
Hello, Brian. CDK.
She can't even.
Power and water?
Wow.
Where is she? Well, she's in Florida, though.
She's in Florida.
I don't know. They have plenty of water in Florida.
There's some natural disaster we don't know about that's happening in Florida.
There's always something in Florida.
Yeah, they're crazy down there.
They are.
She has power. See, she's just being a smartass.
we don't have the brain power to do that.
Yeah, yo. All right, who's going to carry the conversation? Because I'm like,
I think we're all dragging ass, right?
It's like not it.
The famous question: how was everyone's day?
Oh God. How was my day? It started out tired, and now I'm even more tired. Sid decided that she didn't want to sleep at all last night, and then decided to roll off the other side of the king size bed because apparently a king size isn't big enough for her, and she decided to be up at 9 o'clock. So it was great. It's been awesome. And then she fell asleep literally at the table, sitting straight up eating. So
how do kids do that? My kids never do. My kids never do that, but I was like, I just don't. You see all those viral videos where they literally are in like mid bite and they're like, "Kukush." I'm like, really?
Yep.
That's pretty much how I feel right now. I mean, I don't know. I might feel narcoleptic.
Oh my gosh.
You probably could have done it after the XXO Connect. You were up like for 24 hours, Raquel.
I was technically up for 24 hours. Yeah.
Technically.
That's crazy.
Yes. Well, you know how people will be like, I was up all night, and it's not like, but being up like 24 hours straight, that's the thing.
I used to do a lot, actually. I mean, it was highly intoxicated, but I did it a lot.
Yeah.
I like waste the entire next day if I do that.
At least.
Yeah, because I think I went to bed at like 9:30ish. That because I think it technically ended at 9. Like that's when we did the like 10, 9, 8. And then by the time I fell asleep, I think it was like 9:30, and then I think I slept until like 5 in the evening. Yeah,
Brian's getting you started. 7,
6,
5.
Thanks for telling me how to count backwards. Thanks.
Well, yeah, we are tired. Jen, how was your day?
My day was thoughtful. I was on calls with people from 6:15 this morning, and I wrapped up at 7:05. And you guys, the conversations that stemmed from the day were just the ones that make you go really deep and the ones that make you thought provoke of, okay, I'm going to go deep for a minute. So we're just going to go there. Just how we can be better as people to other people. You know, I work with employees throughout the bulk of my day, and consistently in today, I heard so many comments about why someone's not good enough or defeating themselves, or why they're being told by an employer that they can't be qualified for this reason. And, you know, for me as a humanitarian and empath who just wants to hold space and lift people up, I think it's our opportunity as people to just say, okay, let's look at all what you're good for. Let's look at all these amazing qualities that you have to bring, and let's focus on that instead. So on the one hand, it's to some extent emotionally draining, in just, again, holding space for other people. But on the other hand, I'm so grateful I can be that space for people to just help them see so many good things in themselves, and help them just to look and say, okay, how can we market your skills to show this to employers and show what you can do? And maybe it's just finding you a better fit of what is, and you'll excel at. So yeah, it was a thoughtful, good day. And my creative is super high today. Like, I've written 2 poems before, and I haven't written poems in like years.
Wow.
You're just flowing today, huh?
You might see them on LinkedIn in the next couple of days, because one is just about no more shit, no more criticizing, no more internal defeating. And I think we all just have to be focused on that no more negative voice. So
Yeah, that inner cheerleader has to be a lot louder than that inner critic.
it's very true.
Especially now.
Agreed.
Yeah.
As Brian would say, now more than ever, just
Now
like
more than
that.
Kelly! How about you, Jaris? How was your day?
Exhausting. Very, very, very exhausting. I managed like 4 hotels. So when the power went out the first day, people were just coming from all the surrounding cities. You know, we were not used to that kind of traffic. So I'm still trying to catch up just from that. I did take care of a lot of stuff that I needed to do, so I guess that's good. So tomorrow should be a free day, so I can get some rest. But try to get some coffee. Couldn't find any coffee, so I was forced to grab one of these. I wish I would have talked to you earlier, Jen, so you could have sent me some of that energy.
Product placement? Do you want to shout out to Red Bull?
Yeah, we do it next time. They got to sponsor us, and we'll do it. Sponsor us, we'll put it there every time.
He's on the red carpet for Coming to America 2 drinking Red Bull. Like,
Yes, sir.
How do you not find coffee? Like, are you?
Well, you got to think this little city that I'm in, they don't want to do anything. Yesterday, I had to go to like 4 different gas stations to get gas. So I'm pumping gas. I paid for it. I'm pumping. I got like 39 cents at one gas station. I had to go somewhere else. So who knows?
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
bunch.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, but you made it here tonight. So thank you.
Yes.
Nancy, how was your day, Nancy?
My day was good. I'm doing what Jen is helping Rebel, her, people that she's working with. Right now, I jokingly say, but it's true, I'm like the ringleader of a flea circus with what I'm doing with my, public school stuff. So I'm spending a lot of time working really hard on things that don't matter. So it's, it doesn't feel great to spend a lot of energy on things that aren't having an impact or just going to be torn down by lawyers at some point, and but still going through the motions. So that's not my favorite, but I am thankful that I am doing it from home. And I'm thankful that I have heat and water and electricity. So just sort of coming to terms with the things that I love most about my job are just not available to me this year. And I'm not the only one going through that, but, kid contact, I do that. So I interact with the kids. And yeah, I've been doing a lot of paperwork, a lot of report writing, and it's all part of the job. It's just the way it's happening is just, it doesn't work for me. It doesn't sit right that we're just trying to cover the district's ass, basically.
All right. So question, direct message me your address and you'll have 3 kids by morning. Because we've been trapped in the house for like 8 straight days.
Well, there you go.
So they'll be on their way.
Okay,
Like,
perfect.
You're like, I won't be able to get out, but they'll be able to get out.
oh, they'll get out. They'll get out. I promise.
Just remember to put holes in the box, please.
The 3 can go in the hole. What
Exactly.
a hole.
They just Mike, promise me you'll remember to put holes in the box.
I'll attempt. Yeah. They'll be okay.
Straws to breathe out.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, so there are a lot worse things, but I had this to look forward to all day, which really was a thing for me. So thank you.
Raquel,
Shout
how
out to
was
the Golden Box. Oh, and then who rocked the house?
Kelly.
Kelly's back.
I knew I was looking for it.
Drinking water.
Oh,
Even
How was
Kelly's
your
tired.
day, Kelly?
Even Kelly's tired.
I know we're all just like.
Oh, she left.
Bye, Kelly.
Raquel, she is challenging your couch presence, though. I don't know
Yeah,
if you know.
she's like on the floor though, in front of the couch. She's technically not on a couch. You got to be on the couch.
Well, apparently, because if Reggie comes and you're not on the couch,
Yeah. If I'm at a dining room chair, then
yes, no,
I'm gonna be pissed.
Oh, no.
no beanbag. No. Well, we didn't get Kelly. You didn't get to tell us how your day was.
No, she didn't. All right, we'll have Raquel tell her day then.
Oh no, there she is.
Oh,
Say by the
Is
bell.
it Raquel's turn? It's Raquel's turn
It's
to
yours.
tell us how her day.
oh, you're gonna stay in the picture? Wow. Kelly's gonna join us for a moment.
Oh, okay.
Yay.
It's not. So I was actually really excited for today because I was going to be on a podcast in person. Like the person is local, so we had scheduled, and I was going to drive out there. His office is like 15 minutes from me, so I was like, "Woohoo! I get to do a podcast." And then we get this crappy weather, so that was rescheduled. So that was a little wah. But so I ended up watching, I think, 2 Marvel movies. And I worked on my website for like 3-4 hours. So yeah, my eyes are like, I'm cross-eyed right now. But yeah, so that was my day. I haven't showered. I'm still in my PJs. It's great. It's a true snow day.
There you go.
Yes. Yes, Brian. As soon as I hung up with you, I think I started working on it and I just like stopped right before this. That's how many hours it was. It's a lot of hours. And shout out to my stinkiness. Yes. All right, Kelly, how was your day?
You're looking around for somebody else to talk
to be
with.
quiet so that I could talk for a minute. I'm good. I have electricity, so I'm happy. I have water, so I'm really happy. It's been a great day. I have electricity and water. I actually got work done today. I have no complaints. Nothing.
Let's shout out to Kelly is the only person that came out positive with that question. I'll let Jen you do, but I mean, like, here we go. Thank you.
Yeah. You know,
Appreciate it. It's a good reminder.
water and electricity.
Water
That's all we
and
need. It's a simple thing.
it really is. It's the moments, day by day, moment by moment, that make it happen.
It's true.
All right. So let's talk about like, I don't know, personal growth or personal goal that we have.
Oh, personal goal.
Yeah, I'm not going first because I came up with it.
Yay.
Jen will go first. She's
Oh,
excited.
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm excited. Okay.
Wow, can't shut her up tonight. Go, Jen, go.
I'm telling you.
Go
Awesome.
ahead.
You gotta
Everybody
make
mute.
shows when you didn't talk. Take over. It's yours.
Perfect timing too, because the rest of us are like,
Right.
I have energy since 6:15 this morning, and I got a run before
good.
that.
Yeah,
So
like,
good.
yeah, let's take advantage.
Okay. Huge goal for me. And Nancy, I think I shared it with you. Michael, I think you might know. Raquel, I don't know if you know. Jaris, you don't know. But I am in the midst of writing a fiction series. And it is huge on my heart. Yeah. And it's really incorporating, you guys, my life and my journey. And the good and the bad and the indifferent into a fiction type character. And my big picture goal is to, at some point, have it produced into movies and a 3-part series. But bigger than all of that, thanks, Kelly. The premise of the book, my mission is to just help other people who are in the situation that I was in. Help other people who had been having suicidal thoughts and people who had been struggling with cancer or thyroid or anxiety and depression, and get them to see in a different perspective through a fiction story. So yeah, and it's flowing better than it ever has before. And I've found for me, speaking my book out as opposed to typing it out, I flow so much more easily. Raquel, you're the one that turned me on to that in our conversation the first time we talked.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, that's my big goal and I'm going to put it out here right now, because it's been delayed for too long. It will be out by the end of the year, if not sooner.
Now you have all these people to hold you accountable.
Right.
Yeah, and to, cheer you on and
Right.
cheer you.
How about you guys?
Awesome.
Thank you.
Great.
Congratulations, Jen. Yeah. And were you the one who said last week that when you write fiction, like that's how you process?
It totally is how I process.
Okay. I thought I remembered that. So nice.
Mm-hmm.
You got it.
Yeah, and then he's alive. Thanks to no, I'm so bad because I don't watch the news. I don't have cable, so I didn't know the extent of how how bad Texas was, to be honest. So sorry to all you Texans. I really didn't know that you guys were like drowning in snow, and it was really bad.
I'm in your boat. I was the same.
Yeah, I really didn't know. So then when Nancy did that, I was like, oh crap, like.
Yeah, I got the SOS this morning, just like I'm alive, just tell people I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, oh, I didn't really know that he wasn't. Sorry, Katie J. Love you. Honest.
Yeah, keeping it real, but we're glad he's back.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's back. All right.
Oh, do you have a character's name? Do you have a name for the heroine?
Yeah, my main character's name is Faith.
Ah, perfect. Yep.
So wait, so fiction is real, right? No, wait, nonfiction is real?
Fiction is fake.
Not real.
Fiction, fake.
Fiction, fake.
Oh, I have days where I wish my life was fake. Like where I wish my story would have been fake.
Would you give it up though? I mean.
No, not at all.
No.
I still don't give it up.
Right.
Yeah.
There's days you think about it, but
it's momentarily. I mean, I'm exhausted today. I did 4 podcasts. This is my 4th podcast.
Oh, wow.
I feel like I got hit by a truck today.
How many did you host and how many were you guests of?
I was a guest on 2 and hosted 2.
Whose were you on?
I was on Deborah Abbott. She's out of Switzerland. She does something called Leading Dragons. And I did Jenny Golds today. And then I did me and Judy, and then this.
Gotcha.
So it was.
These leading dragons, not slaying dragons.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had
to it's interesting, but it's just a lot sometimes.
Yeah.
I see you all over Facebook.
A lot of good things doesn't mean it's not tiring. Just because there's a lot of good things doesn't mean it doesn't impact us, and
it's emotionally draining.
Yeah.
Yes.
Physically too. Just having to sit there and be still is not always so easy for that much time.
Well, no, I mean, like Sid went to bed at somewhere between 3 and 4 in the morning, and then was up by 9, which I didn't expect. I slept 3.5 hours solid last night, and I'm sitting here waiting. Okay, good. Sid's going to sleep through the first 3 of them, and Sid was up before the first one. So you hear her bouncing around in the background through all of them. It was the funniest thing ever. Like, one of them, she's pouting. I want to go outside, and people are like, it's a little too cold. Like, it was just nonstop. It was a nonstop day. But the good news is everything melted just in time to freeze overnight. So then there'll be ice and stuff. Yes, it's perfect.
Shout out to timing.
Mhm. Oh my gosh, Brian's.
Brian's on it tonight.
If you like it, then you if you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. I mean,
If you just don't say anything, it's always interesting to see how long it lasts for.
Oh, we were doing goals, weren't we? Isn't that what that topic was?
Yeah.
goals.
We seem to lose that. We seem to have lost that topic pretty quick. I don't know. I don't do goals. I don't set goals. So
You have something that's out there that you're putting energy toward or working toward.
yeah, my legacy goal, my legacy goal, elevating humanity through knowledge and understanding. I'll let you know when I'm dead if it worked.
I feel like there's got to be a progress report in there somewhere.
March 10th. I'll let you know what happens in court on March 9th.
There you go.
Like, until then, there is nothing else that could be discussed in life.
Makes sense.
It's all out of my hands. So I just have to have faith to know that the right thing will happen, and then I can make official plans. Until then, it's just kind of up in the air.
Yeah. And now everything that someone says, I have like a song in my head, because you gotta have faith. Because you gotta have faith, faith.
All right, Raquel, what's your goal, Raquel? Let's go. Let's hear your goal. Other than singing and dancing all night.
My goal actually is to monetize my YouTube channel. Like, I had a really good conversation with Brian today, because with his live stream, he has a lot of experience of like trying to monetize that and the sponsorships and affiliates, and so he had a lot of really good advice for me today. So yeah, that's because I'm actually like really confident about what I'm doing now, because I needed to have enough videos and enough content under my belt to really know that what I was doing was something that like I'm going to continue to do and people actually are paying attention to. And now that I do know that, like, okay, this is the thing, I want to get more serious about it. So that's why I've been working on my website and everything. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, so that's that's where I'm at. So if anybody wants to pay me to
Right.
talk to kids all day long,
Right.
I'll take your money so I can pay my bills. Just saying. Got to keep the lights on.
Right.
Oh, I was just about to sing the David Cook lights on. You know, the light on. Yeah, keep the light on.
I don't know that one.
It was like was one of the American Idol contestants, like back in the day, and he ended up having like a one-hit wonder. It was like the lights on or something or other. Yeah, so that's that. We'll hit it big on YouTube, baby.
Yeah. And I agree with Bill. Jaris, yeah, you're talking a bit too much tonight.
Always. He's such a chatter.
Yeah, it's true. You always tend to, like,
not
take
shut
over
up.
the conversation.
Bill, you should have been, before we hit record, he's right. I'm just saying, like, there's plenty to say when nobody else is around.
Listen. The other side of his camera, he's got the TV playing Coming to America 2, so he's busy.
Yeah, and then
He's getting a promo.
Or a best friend hanging around, staring at him.
I definitely have a best friend hanging around.
Yes, see? I got your number.
And I've been texting her like, look, please turn the air on. And she's just like, no. So I'm just over here sweating and suffering. I'm already halfway exhausted. Yes, I'm calling her out.
Drops like.
Yes, please do. Yes, please. Thank you.
What's your goal?
Unlike you, I don't really do goals. I feel like the work that I put in maybe 2 to 3 years ago is actually paying off now. So I guess just I don't know, it's just like every day that I wake up now, I'm starting to really begin to understand that like I'm part of this bigger mission. So it's like really exciting because I meet strange people every single day that's just like, hey, they're exact same, and we have similar goals. So I'm just kind of living in the moment, letting things happen and letting things play out, because even when I make mistakes, I'm realizing that everything is still kind of falling in place, if that makes sense. So I'm just kind of chilling right now, not too busy focused on the goals, but just kind of letting things happen, having fun, enjoying the moment. And I'm super, super exhausted, but everything's okay.
So you don't believe in instant gratification? I mean, you're waiting 3 years for work to turn
No,
over.
I mean, I'm learning, Mike.
Laying the foundation. It's called sowing the seeds of
Yeah, every step is important, Mike.
Well, I
Did
believe
you do that on purpose so that you could throw the song in there?
No,
right.
there's something here. There's
You know, I just it feels like it would be a little bit scary to be in your head. Like I always wonder, like what is it like?
It was really scary to be in my head. Yes. Yes. Sorry.
Inside out, dancing around.
Mm-hmm.
Inside out.
I feel like now I'm trying to come up with like little song snips that I can put in everything I say.
No, I'm telling you, like I'm always thinking like song wise. That's why I'm like horrified that YouTube can like ding me for just singing a freaking song.
Yeah.
They can do you for a song?
Yes, it's like a thing. Yeah, one of the girls that I was one of the actually it was Brittany Swan's younger sister. She's like, my sister was her other sister was singing like a song in her YouTube channel, like not listening to the song, singing it, and she got dinged for it. But because she doesn't have that many subscribers, she didn't have to pay. But otherwise, she would have had to pay. Yeah, so that's why I'm like, OMG.
They'll take away her personal URL. That's what they'll do, just to mess with her.
Is that? Yeah, I don't know. All I know is that like I'm like so scared now. Is this on YouTube?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Oh snap!
Don't worry, I'll just send them to your page. You're good.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's under your page though, so you'll get in trouble, not me.
Again, I don't have enough subscribers that so I'm good.
But with Jaris, Karina did ask, because Jaris, I did see your video when you were talking about how it's really important to ask for help. Yeah. So she specifically asked, when was the time that you had asked for help, and what was it for? So I want to hear that.
I have still not asked for help.
That's the video.
I have put that video out because I was on Clubhouse, and I don't know how everybody just started talking about me not asking for help. Like, you always serving people, why don't you ask for help? And that's something that I really have an issue with. There are people who reach out to me asking me, how can I help you? And I know they're in a position to help me get to where I'm trying to get to.
You want to go outside?
But I don't know how to ask for help.
What's that?
Jaris, what your post brought up for me today, and I put it there as best I could. I'm not good at asking for help either. You know, for whatever reasons, I do it on my own, and will kill myself to do it on my own. But in the more recent years, what I've started to do is think about how good I feel when I have the opportunity to help someone else. And by not asking for help, I'm denying people the opportunity to feel that same feeling that I love. So if I ask for help, the converse is true. If I'm asking for help, I'm creating an opportunity for someone else to feel like the joy and fulfillment that I feel when I get to help someone else. And so that's made it easier for me. I'm still not real good at it, but it's made it easier.
But when I read that comment, that instantly put me in the mindset that I needed to be in, because I have one friend who reminds me of Michael so much, and he was just telling me, like, look, I just want to help you. And he was helping me, but I don't know. It's just like the way I was raised, like doing it by myself. And I'm just so strong-minded and so strong-willed, because I understand the direction I'm going, the path I'm on. Things are kind of like happening for me. So it's like, okay, well, what do I need? I really don't need anything. Things are literally kind of falling out the sky. When I need help with this, somebody's literally going to pop up. Hey, man, I'll give you an example. I was thinking about getting another line for my business phone, right? So I'm like, I need some help. Let me go ask around who can I. Somebody popped up. Hey, look, you want to come get an iPhone? Run your credit. You probably got good credit. You can walk away with $25. I got the iPhone, got on Clubhouse. And that is how everything in my life happens just like that. When I'm hungry, somebody pops up. My friend, we were just talking about pizza. I said, you know what? I want to order some pizza. Step outside, my neighbor, like, you guys look hungry. I want to order you guys some pizza. And we're like, okay. I mean, this is just me. I can't speak on anybody else. My life is literally just like that. So I'm like, I have a strong connection with the Most High. So I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm okay.
But why does it have to be something you...
Hang on, Jaris. I need a snow shovel.
Figure
out a way to get that so I can leave the house.
Hello, I have a snow.
All right, Mike.
Figure it out.
Play, Mike. I'll put it together. You have 3 of them at your door.
That's fine. I don't care.
One for each kid. One for each kid would be great.
Exactly. Sid will do a great job of tearing the car apart with this shovel.
Jaris, why does it have to be something you need? Like when people want to help you, why can't it just be like, yeah, you know, you don't need it, but like continue to send me love, continue to send me energy, continue to send me positivity, you know, kind of thing. Why does it have to be something you need?
And that's all I'm saying. Like everybody's like, well, how can I help you? That's my first thing. Just continue to support me. That's all I need right now because I don't know how to ask for what I need. My thing is there are people that are doing stuff and I'm like, okay, that's cool. If you want to help me, send me that, what you just did. I mean, that's just my way of thinking, but I'm also learning, like you said, Nancy, I cannot get in that mindset because closed mouths don't get fed. They don't know. They put it out there and say, look, if you need help, I'm willing to help you. But I'm still kind of like, I'm thinking about making a video just saying, hey, look, this is what I need help with, A, B, C, and D, and see how the people react.
Oh, and they'll react. They'll get plenty of help.
Yeah. So there are things that you do need help with that you're just not asking for.
I want to really sit down and get concrete because I got a strong team. I have a strong support system. I got family, friends, and people that are like bend their back because they know I'm a friend. I'm a real friend. If you take one step, I'm going to take 2 every single time. I'm really like this in real life. So I really don't have a problem. But my thing is, I guess, what do I need help with? Like actually figuring that out first before I just say, okay, I need this and that. I really don't know because I'm on this path that I'm not comfortable, but I'm okay. And it doesn't take a lot to please me. And it's like, okay, you can't give me $10 billion. You know what I mean? How can you really help me? Not trying to be funny, but I don't know.
I just don't give him an opportunity. I just introduce him to people anyway. He doesn't have a choice from me. Like, I just don't even give him the option. I just do it anyway. Like I do to all of you. And everyone else.
I heard you, Ron. Thank you.
Yeah. And Ryan posted, is it Rhonda?
Yeah, Rhonda Simpson.
Rhonda, help me, Rhonda.
Rhonda, we're sorry. We're really sorry, Rhonda.
What do you do when you
and she's sober, Rhonda. So just keep that in.
Yeah, I'm totally sober. Water. What do you do when you love watching your favorite people on LinkedIn and then you have almost forgot what you were originally coming onto LinkedIn to develop for yourself? You mean you get like, what happens if you just get caught up like watching other people's stuff and paying attention to what they're doing and then you kind of get lost into that? Is that like, is that what you said?
Like,
I mean, for me, if that's the question, I stop scrolling. I don't even scroll on LinkedIn anymore. It's kind of.
I get it. I'm intentional when I get on LinkedIn. So it's either like I'm posting something and I'm responding to people, or I block a time for me to just go and scroll and try to give other people on LinkedIn love and do that. Otherwise, I really don't. I don't do that anymore. But then again, it's like for people that are newer to the platform, I can understand how they're like really trying to navigate it and understand what's going on, like Nancy.
Go ahead, Mike.
I mean, I used to comment on 100 posts a day. That was my goal, right? Because I wanted to engage and support and be there. And when people start responding to 100 comments a day, then people respond to those responses, and it's a full-time job.
Yes.
And you know, the judge even said I had to start getting paid. So apparently, I had to start getting paid. So I had to quit that full-time job. For me, I'm at a point where I just intuitively, when I click in LinkedIn and I refresh, I'm there to support whoever pops up at that moment. I don't go further than 5 or 6 posts down. I just don't do it anymore because I'll get lost in it, because, I love supporting people. I love being there for people. But if I get sucked into it, I'm going to disappear.
Yeah.
Mike, let me ask you a question. You mentioned something about instant gratification, right?
Yeah.
Can you explain that? Because what I'm learning is I have different abilities, right? So
Yes.
I'll give you an example. I run a housekeeping service. So
Yes.
one of my employees, they just, not coming to work, so I had to let them go. But it was a day where we needed some help. So I was thinking to myself, like, listen, I really need some help. This total stranger just rides up on a bicycle, like, look, where's your help? I'm like, they don't longer work here. And he's like, well, can I work with you? And I'm looking around like, where do you come from? And this guy has turned to be one of the best employees I've ever had. And I used to be a full-time production supervisor. I've managed hundreds of people. So what do you mean by that, and how would it apply to me? Because you know me a little bit more personally than everybody else does.
When
Jaris,
I was
I need to stand next to you for like 10 minutes. Like, that's it. Just whatever your energy is that is making this happen and so synchronous, like, you just need to stand by you for 10 minutes and start vibrating at whatever frequency you're vibrating at, man.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, it's creative.
So the comment that I made about Jaris was about your goal. It had nothing to do with how you live your life. I was just busting your chops about goals, right? Because you said I did it 3 years ago, and I've been putting years in, right? So that's no instant gratification, waiting years for a return on that. That's like, courting a woman for 10 years and then finally getting her, and it's like, okay, I guess that was not instant gratification, right? So, like, I mean, but what you're doing is you're finally embracing your frequency. You've always vibrated at high frequency. Now you're embracing it, you're allowing it, you're accepting it. And what's happening is you're automatically manifesting what you need. You don't have to seek it because your body's just getting it back to you. Right. And when I'm okay and not beyond drained and exhausted like I am right this second, I'm there also, right? Like, I don't look for things as much anymore. I don't really struggle. I don't fight. I don't do those things anymore, right? Like, the universe provides, God, universe, whatever you want to call it, source, universe. I don't care what you label it. It's all the same thing, right? It's whatever your understanding is.
Yeah.
And you're vibrating at that frequency and you have that connectedness, it all falls in place for you. It just does. You don't have to fight anymore. Raquel wanted kids to talk to. Now she's getting tons. She found her peers. So it's a matter of, but she doesn't have to look for it anymore, right? Because every time she posts a video, I see the comments. There's 5 or 10 people that come back and say, well, I think that'd be cool if my kids did it, right? She doesn't have to do the work. Now her work is actually, getting the paperwork signed and, talking to the kids and getting it set up for times and those things, but it's a different work, right? Like, she's doing what she loves, and she's, not even work for her. Now, creating a website, that's a different story. Nobody likes doing that. But, but the talking to kids, the doing what you enjoy. I mean, Nancy talking to the kids and helping kids, it's not the same as in person, right? Jen holding space for people to express themselves and be able to be vulnerable and be raw and be real and provide them that space. Jaris giving people opportunity, inspiring them to be self-inspired, right? And that's where you're at right now. You're at this vibration where you're just inspiring people to do better for themselves.
Yep.
Right? And just by watching the work that you're putting in and watching your efforts and watching how you're acting, you're inspiring them to do it. I guess I had a moment of clarity through my exhaustion. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I appreciate that, because it's like, this is how I'm feeling. It was, I can say it's like this for me. Imagine being in a car accident, bumping your head, and you lose your memory, right? Mm-hmm. And as I begin to see things, it's like my memory is starting to come back. So it was like, I may not even know, I didn't know anything about manifestation, gratitude. I didn't know those terms, but I was practicing all of this stuff the whole entire time. And just when people were like, you manifest stuff. Then I had to look up what that meant. And they talk about gratification. So it's like I've always did what I had to do. I just wasn't conscious of what I was doing.
I mean, nobody ever said you had to know what you were doing. I mean, sometimes you're better off not knowing, right? Because then you try too hard. I mean, if you talk to Mark, and I don't know if you've had a conversation with Mark yet, he'll be the first one to tell you not to try. I mean,
Spirit animal?
yes, you're a spirit animal. Because the minute you start trying, it's already over, right? Because then you're forcing stuff, right? I mean, it's being grateful for where you're at and having the gratitude to be in that space and allowing things to fall in place for you without the struggle to do it. It also automatically starts happening for you on its own.
I don't know, like Jaris, I wonder if this rings true to you, because for me, I had been doing a lot of this stuff and not realizing. It's funny because I'll look back at journals and I was like, I kind of feel like there's days I feel like a fraud, like, oh, I'm just putting on this positivity, gratitude kind of thing. But I have the ability to look back and have in writing that that's not true, which is always nice for me. But when I became fully and sincerely grateful for everything that had come before, even the yuck and the hurt and all of it, and put that together and was like, no, I'm grateful for all of this. It's made me who I am. And I like who I am. Like, I'm in a place of really liking who I am. When I accepted that the crap was good, when I accepted that all of it moved me forward, all of it created who I am, it gave me the empathy that I have and the compassion I have and my ability to relate to my students that are going through trauma the way I do. So I'm curious for you, was there any sort of time of alignment with, like, I don't know, but I don't think about letting go of the past because my past is always with me. To me, I'm not trying to outrun it anymore. Right. So that's the difference. So I don't know, was there a time of alignment for you where it sort of all settled in and you were like,
yeah, I got a lot of friends like Michael that just, they evidently they see something that I can't see, that I'm beginning to see. So they don't play with me. They don't, it's like everybody else is, they like, get in the game. Why are you sitting down? You're somebody. Go do what you. And I'm like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. And I just been getting my butt kicked by people like that. And I just got tired of, like, even when I'm starting my business and trying to open up this corporation, my little cousin is just like, cuz you are a boss. Why are you acting like a worker? And he would tell me this for years. And I just would begin to see, like, okay, shifting my mindset. I can't really say it was a particular time or aligning. I just kind of woke up one day like, I have so much support. So many people are saying the same thing that I just had to look at myself in the mirror to kind of begin to see what they're saying. I still don't see it all because I'm so humble and I like to stay grounded. I don't want to feel like, because y'all got to think, man, people are reaching out to me, calling me all kind of these names and giving me titles. And I'm just like, I want to make sure that I am within my boundaries with the respect that I have for the Most High. I don't want any praise or any credit for what I'm doing, but so many people are putting those titles on me, and I don't feel like that. I just feel like I'm a human being. Yes, I know I might have a super strong spiritual connection. That's a giving, but I don't think it was a time when nothing like lined it up. It's just like looking at my life since a child, I can always say I was being molded to be a leader, to be a speaker. Even the jobs that I worked, I just think my whole life was kind of almost molded or programmed for me to be the person that you all see behind the camera today.
Well, it's funny that, sorry, I'm going to take over again. But you were talking about people seeing you, I think it's really, really powerful to have people reflect how they see you back to you. And being able to take that in, right? You don't have to it's still in a humble place, but be seen that way by someone else as someone who can inspire, lead, whatever it is, that if I can take it in, which is challenging for me, I admit, it's really powerful because it's not really about me. It's how people are perceiving me in the way that they need to receive me, and what I'm doing. So for me, also listening to other people, that when I was anorexic, one of the things that helped me finally start to accept my body is I stopped listening to me. I stopped listening to my ideas about what my body should be and what was wrong with it and all these places that I would pick apart. And I started listening to the people who loved me and were saying different things than I was saying. And there was more evidence that supported what they were saying than what I was saying. And so it shifted me to go like, okay, well, I'm a person who's had a history of not loving herself, especially coming out of that at that time. But here are people that are saying the same thing, and I'm refusing to take that evidence into account, because where I'm at is, what was I still getting out of staying there was the question. And when I was finally ready, it was like, no, I need to listen to the people who love me. I would listen to them on other things and advice and all of that. So, that was also a shift for me. People reflecting back helped me to start seeing myself differently.
I feel a shift coming, and I was kind of running from it. But I know something's, I just know it. Don't know what it is. Don't know when it's coming. But I know it's something super huge. And I'm just got to be patient enough to see it.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Instant gratification.
What's up?
And I was
What's up?
Wow.
Reggie.
What's up?
Boom.
It's like you want to fight me. Like you're putting up your dukes, man. Like you want to fight. Like what are we doing here? We fighting?
So very dramatic and everything. And
You notice how we put you two next to each other, right? Like, I mean,
And the rest of us can really walk away now because,
yeah, like, the rest don't matter. Like, you're both going opposite directions. This is great. But real quick, before we move on to hi, Reggie, Nancy, first of all, I don't think it's about letting anything go, our past. I think it's about losing the emotional attachment to it. Learning from it, understanding it, but losing that emotional attachment to it is key, I think, right? And that's what's been working for me. And that may not work for everybody, but for me and what I've gone through, and as I've been doing the work and releasing all this bullshit that I carried around, because I never saw myself, I never really saw what anybody else saw in me, because I covered it with all the bullshit, right? So I saw only the worst parts of everything, and that's what I lived in. So as I've been letting go, people say, but releasing the emotional attachment to it and the hold that it had over me, the rest of it falls in place. And Jaris, look, here's the reality. We're the last ones to see ourselves. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
None of us wake up in the mirror and see what anybody else sees in us, especially if it's someone that we trust and somebody that's in our circle, that we trust what they say, right? Like, just because we love someone doesn't mean we trust them or trust what they say to us. Just because they're not as close to us as people that have been in our lives our whole life doesn't mean that we don't trust what they say more than somebody who's been in our lives our whole life, right? When it depends the perspective of where it's coming from and who it is. One of the reasons that my words resonated with you is because I didn't hear from you again for a month and a half to 2 months. And when you got back on the phone with me, it was the same conversation that we had 2 months earlier. You were just ready to hear it the second time. Nothing changed, right? Like, we picked up right where it was left off, and you were just ready to listen at that point.
But Jaris, because everything that you said, I totally resonated with, where for so many years, I mean, I'm going to be 46 for a lot of years. I've had people tell me certain things where I just never listened to it, right? Like, you're a leader, you're this, you have so much potential. Like, oh my gosh, you're actually really smart. You're very wise, all these things. Right. And I'm like, nah. And now I'm starting to like listen, because I'm starting to feel it. And like you said, like there's that shift, but you can still remain who you are. I mean, look I'm like, still a freaking, dork and a goofball and all those things, right? Like, I'm still trying to maintain like who I am at the core. So it's like but I'm also owning the fact that, like, yeah, you know what? I am a leader. And you know what? Yes, like, I do inspire people and I do all those things, and it's okay. It doesn't make me, like, conceited or whatever, but you just like let it naturally kind of take its course.
I think as humble people, in receiving that, we'll still always be the humble people that we are, and the people of character. That's not going to change who we are. It just means that we're more willing to receive it. And much like everyone else, I mean, I think that we all have a habit of deflecting the good. And for me, I mean, I've had a habit of why that wasn't true, and just why I needed to prove that thing wrong, and why that thing was not the right thing. And I can tell you, and I'm sure that we'll all agree in making that shift, it's a life change, and I think that it allows us to be better for other people too, and help them see the perspective of they're in and the point that they're at, and maybe not being able to receive the same feedback we once weren't able to receive. And I think if we can receive it, then we can better help other people to know how to receive it too.
I also think that remaining humble piece that's true is the fact that anyone who's aware enough to sort of check and make sure, like, am I still grounded? Am I still, remembering it's bigger than me and it's not about me and it's not about elevating me. Then you remain humble. It's when you forget to check in, when you forget to see like where you're at, and are you still grounded and centered, and have you remained the same person, or have you let things shift for you in a negative way, or like in a way you never wanted them to go? But as long as the question and you're checking in with yourself, I think that's a really important way to make sure you don't lose track and lose that bit of humility that makes us all the people we are.
Agreed.
Great.
Hi, Reggie.
Hey guys,
What's up, Reggie?
this is a great conversation, by the way. I just want to add some tidbits to what everyone is throwing out there, because I think this is awesome. I think when it comes to leadership, we have to remember we are all humans. I remember at one point in time, like just coming up in my career, whether it be an entry level position or a mid level position, you're always thinking, okay, well, that VP that's at the top is entitled to whatever you don't have. So you have to look up to that person literally, and you got to think, okay, well, they got a lot of power in that leadership position. But outside of the building, we're all human beings. So the precursor to that is we have to remember that there's an even playing field when it comes to leadership. We just have to answer the call, right? We have to be the ones to be proactive and take initiative to start something, to create impact, right? So everything that
someone else coming on.
Oh, what happened? What happened?
No, I think it's because someone else is coming on.
Oh, someone else is coming in. Who is it? Is it Drake? Is it Drake or is it Brian?
I just,
really funny.
Just
called say the Avengers because I've been watching Marvel, and then Brian shows up right when I was going to say I feel like it's like Justice League Avengers.
This is like beanies versus non-beanies.
I mean, Reggie said you have to take the call, so I just took the call.
Call, man. But that's what leadership is all about. See, Brian just played a role right there. He's like, he answered the call. He's going to show up, and that's what leaders do, right?
What role am I playing? Marvel?
Well, I mean, Brian's great at accepting compliments. I've known Brian for quite a while now. He jumps all over accepting compliments. So Brian, why don't you talk about the topic too? Because you're great at accepting compliments.
I am not great at accepting compliments.
No.
No.
Not at all.
No.
But no, I was going to mention you, Brian, even with Jaris, with the humility part of it, because you and I kind of had we talked about it a little bit today too, right? Where, you and I we were talking, my hair was just a mess. I'm on the couch, like pizza is coming out of my mouth, and you're talking. And like in that moment, like we were just discussing, it's like people can say it's Brian Schulman. Do you realize you're such a big deal? But it's like at the same time, you do such a good job of just being Brian, like just this like down to earth guy that it's like when I talk to you, I never think about like all the accolades and everything else that's going on, because you do such a good job of just being in the moment with that person and also just accepting them for who they are, so that in return we do the same. And it's a beautiful thing. So I wanted to shout that out for you, Brian.
Thank you. And
for Brian.
And I appreciate that. Thank you, Reggie.
Our lady.
No, I when Jaris was talking about that, and thank you, Raquel. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you. And I don't look at myself that way. I read the accolades or hear someone read them, and I'm like, who are you talking about? Who's this person? Because I don't look at myself that way. And to your point, Jaris, up there, I feel you, because that's look, it's one of the most important things you can do is just check yourself all the time
before you wreck yourself.
Yes, there you go. I knew you would come in with some lyric. Yes, yeah, Look, it's really important, okay? I mean, I know plenty of people that have not stayed on that path, and they're like completely different people. What are you doing?
I'm just watching Reggie and Rick.
It's a Reggie sandwich.
So wait. I have a very important question. Raquel, did you have red sauce with your pizza? Like, I'm concerned for your well-being.
No red sauce.
Okay. I'm like concerned.
He like saw my pizza,
Okay.
and I specifically told him what was on it, and there was no tomato sauce. I get pizza without tomato sauce. My problem was I added all that tomato sauce last.
Wait, Kelly, if you're gonna come on the screen, you have to come on the screen. We don't want to look at like your hand. Yeah.
She's like thumbing us.
I had to put us back in the right order, so the beanies were all on the bottom.
Yes.
Oh,
okay.
yes. Well, we have to see. There you are. Yeah.
Now I can totally mess with the order of things.
Yeah. She's gonna put her beanie on too. Yeah. No, what are you doing, Kelly? Put it.
Kelly took hers off.
Oh my gosh.
Cracking me up. But back to the point. Now that Jaris is right above me, yeah, man. You know, just keep doing your thing. Keep being you. Don't change. Like, and as more and more stuff happens, and more of the world comes to you, because that's what's happening. It is divine intervention. It happens when it's supposed to, and Reggie's thinking about it right now. That's yes, everyone.
Hold on, I had taken a picture.
Wait a minute, Raquel, stop moving. I can't keep up with your
I
chair
wanted
presence.
everyone to do the
And Jaris, I just want to say shout out to your sweater, bro.
Okay, wait. I just want to say,
Thank you, bro. I appreciate
Kuji's
that.
I mean,
sweater is amazing.
No, but
yeah, this sweater's banging, man.
Okay, there. Okay.
Thank y'all.
Reggie, come on.
Do the Raquel. Come on, Reggie. Look at that smolder.
Oh,
Blue steel.
Yes, everybody's taking pictures.
In the house.
Yes, but just to level set, it is Jaris, right?
Jaris, yes, sir.
Okay, good, because everyone's called you Jaris.
No, I just settle it last time.
Kelly's dropping her phone.
Kelly,
Kelly, are you all right? Kelly, it's okay. Kelly, come back to us. Kelly, where are you?
Somebody
Help her. She's falling and she can't get up.
I know.
Yeah, we just said the same.
clean up an aisle 6. Clean up an aisle 6. We got Kelly is falling.
No, but Jaris, for real, like, just look, man, I don't see you having an issue. You're gonna be you no matter what happens.
Yeah.
You're always rooted in the most important place, which is your heart.
Yeah, don't try to think about it too much. Just do.
Yeah. And Raquel would start singing, "Don't go changing, try to please me."
Oh, that's such a good song.
She loves you just the way you are, Jaris, just the way you are.
Right. Just the way I am, right.
That's right.
Oh my
That's
god.
right.
Oh, Sid's made an appearance.
Oh, I was like, where?
Oh, it's Sid's head.
Yes.
That's Sid's head.
Sid's head.
Yes.
Raquel, I'm going back to what you said about like people being humble. There are people that I've connected with on this platform that if I knew like what people said about them or what Brian being one of them, and you brought me to a lot of people, Raquel, that I wouldn't have reached out because I would have felt like I'm not in their league. And it's funny because the people I would think that about are so not like that. It's exactly the opposite.
Yeah.
So.
Hang on.
Yeah. And then there's some people where you're like, oh, they look so great. And then you talk to them, you're like, ew.
Not so much.
Reggie.
Sorry, my internet went haywire.
The Canadian internet?
Yeah, dial-up.
Yeah. It gets a little blurry sometimes.
Try from your
BlackBerry. It can be blurry.
I'm blurry. I can't help it. I don't know. When I come into focus, I guess it'll be some significant sign.
Kelly, you're throwing everything off with your beanie. Can you
Bill, appreciate the shout out, man. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate that.
It's so cute though. Put it back on. It's cute.
Yeah, I was at that towards the end, Reggie. Sorry.
Sorry?
No, you're live. Like
No. no, it's okay.
No, I
don't feel
tried.
sorry at all.
Apologize to him. He will call you nasty names if you apologize to him.
Nancy sent me.
Here they go.
And she's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I didn't attend live. I'm really sorry.
Oh my gosh.
You're my spirit. You're my heart.
It's uncanny, Reggie.
Oh
my God. It's me. Reggie, that's crazy.
I'm like,
You love my life.
Still going.
Listen, guys, we all have lives. At the end of the day, if you
Hey,
miss
look,
the news,
look. Tomorrow's Friday. I just want to give a shout out to the weekend.
Yeah.
shout
out to the weekend.
weekend.
Shout out to the weekend.
Are we doing with an E or no? Weekend with
No,
an E or
no
Oh my God,
E,
that
no
was so
E.
funny, Wendy's story about the weekend. I was
That's
like,
why I have this filter on. It's
I
called the
know.
weekend.
It's really funny.
Yes. Thank you,
You're welcome.
Reggie, where's Walter? Oh, we
Oh,
lost
yeah.
Kelly.
Uh-oh.
I want to know what. Look at her. She's like, what? Oh my gosh. Did I do that? She's like, no way. How did that happen? Oh my god.
Strange.
I was just painting my soul.
Right, yeah, and it just came on my screen.
Like,
Wow.
Oh my god. Crazy.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god, I don't even know what to say.
Hey, Karina, when you want to do your best impression of me?
My best impression of you?
Yeah, well, Reggie just did his, so I figured maybe.
Oh, I love the beanie.
Yeah, no, it's okay. He was making fun of me because I was being kind to him and acknowledging my lives.
You do
These
not
were
need
supporting him, and I was.
the beanie.
Yeah,
I don't-
Do
Reggie.
the impression of Nancy.
No. For Reggie,
Oh my
maybe.
god, TDK, I love your artwork. Oh my god, I love it. So amazing.
Yesterday, it's best.
Don't mind me. My cat is in the way.
Where'd she go? We lost her.
I don't know why
She's got like bad connection, doesn't she?
Why-
She dropped her
why are you
paintbrush.
purring? Nancy, why are you
Oh,
purring?
Kelly's back though. Oh.
I heard you, Reggie. I heard you.
Oh, ouch.
Mm.
He's pissed.
Oh no.
Mike, get your beanie.
Oh, thank you.
Cheers.
You restored
Jen-
the.
Kelly.
Jen, you're talking way too much. You really need to quiet down.
I know, right?
It's so
I think
terrible.
he's now starting to like maybe
You really,
cry.
you really monopolize the conversation. We've got to work on that.
I try. It's
He has
hard.
a habit.
What I love about Jen the most is that she really observes like everything dynamic.
Oh, yeah.
She's like
Yeah.
dissecting everybody. That's
Yeah,
how
she really backs it up and unpacks it
Unpacks
really
it,
well,
yeah.
Reggie.
Oh,
She's
man.
yeah.
No, Jen is. She's a great observer, and that's why, like, when she speaks and adds her insights, it's
She is the opposite of a packaging factory. She unpacks.
Packaging factory.
If there was an unpackaging factory, you'd be it.
You would own it.
The study of people. I appreciate getting to know who each person is and everyone's little quirks so that I can, yes, put in my 2 cents when it makes sense.
Yes.
Yes.
It's great. It's good stuff. Jaris is right behind you. The two of you really have got to quiet down.
like, take the quiet corner over there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you really.
Yes.
So
Somebody toss Jaris a beanie. No.
All right, so here,
I
so
told my
okay,
friend to go
wait.
get it. He won't do it.
All right, so now
Yeah.
that everybody's here and everybody's having fun, let's talk about a serious topic real quick.
Yes.
Let's
What
do
is
that.
one
Let's
thing?
do it.
What is one thing that every single one of us is struggling with? That each one of us is struggling with personally right now.
Oof.
Jeez, Mike.
I got one. I'll go
Bring
first.
it down, Mike.
Jen's going first. Let's hear this. Come on, Brian. I don't think you've heard Jen's voice yet.
Oh, he
Yeah.
sure has. He heard me in the
No.
beginning. I had a lot to say when we first got started. So don't even go.
I've been watching the whole time. Don't worry.
All right.
Mike, check your messages.
Already know this. Guys, my journey really was about bringing back my voice, right? Oh,
Girl monkey.
Am I feeding him?
love
7?
kids on screen.
Okay. And wait, take it out.
Right.
Sorry,
Ryan,
guys.
Ryan.
Sorry, I was pulling a Raquel. I'm sorry.
I love it. I love kids on screen. And I don't know if I should keep talking.
You're good. Go ahead.
Going.
The space is yours. Yes, go.
Okay.
We're holding space.
We're
And
holding space for you.
I'm kind of not believing that I'm actually sharing this in front of everybody and all of anyone watching. You guys, my journey has been getting back my voice. I've been always strong and dominant externally. I mean, I've been in sales for 15 years. Like, it's been amazing. But internally, getting my voice and actually just authentically sharing the real shit going on in my head, I held myself back. And transparently, Nancy looks like she knows what's coming. Being in this space on live is the biggest, like, opening up the big dark door of that final piece for me that has been really rough and scary. Like, just being real. Like, it has been the piece that one-on-one I can do fantastic in front of boardrooms. I'm great. But turn on the live or get in front of 1,500 people, which I've done a number of times, has been super fucking scary. And I'm so grateful for this space because I feel safe with all of you. And I'm just excited about this journey and keeping it going forward and having my own podcast, and just even being able to say this out loud is just so freeing. So thank you.
Jen, we're all sending hearts off the screen to you right now. They're floating up to you right now. We're really proud of you.
I'm gonna give you a kiss. You're that way. Mwah.
Yeah, and Jen,
that was the wrong way.
Jen, I can tell you that Kelly feels the same way, and it's a big deal that she is frozen on the screen right now. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a big deal for her too to be on this side of the lens. And so I want you both to know that personally, I'm extremely proud of both of you because I know how hard it is, and the fact that you're doing it, like nervous, whatever, like the fact that you're doing it and you're just sticking yourself out there, maybe scared to death, I'm sure, is a really big deal. And the reality is that you're doing it, and the even better part about it is that by talking about it and sharing it right here, guarantee you're inspiring others that are sitting there going, I can't do it either. Going, well, hell, if Jen can do it, if Kelly can do it, I can do it. I mean, look, Karina's painting right now. So, I mean, you know.
Do it. Jen,
yeah.
I am so right now because we just talked about this. And so the fact that you just did it, that was.
Yes. We're celebrating you right now.
Feel for you and
celebrating you right now.
I have so much respect for you, and I'm I want to cry because this is the beginning, like you said, of opening that door. Now it's out there. You've done it. You have a safe space. You've embodied your space during this show more than you ever have.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. So I'm so I'm proud of you, but I'm bursting with because about this, and you just went for it.
Reggie, you can do that too. Make that sound.
You guys, this is my wall. No more.
Not today, Brian. Not today.
So, all right. So, Nancy, what's one thing that you're struggling with right now?
Wait, one thing, Mike. Just thank you guys.
Oh.
Just thank you.
Oh, we don't. You already did it. You already did it. So your turn's over. Nancy, what's one thing you're struggling with right now?
One thing.
Yeah, just choose one.
Just choose one. I am struggling not to try and direct my path. So I'm really trying to let it evolve on its own, because people will ask me things like, well, what do you want to be known for? What are you doing on LinkedIn? And it's sort of I don't know. And I'm not ready to quote unquote choose. Every time I'm on, something else changes or evolves or, comes into play. And so I don't want to have to know what I'm doing, basically. I don't want to have to know what I'm doing. And so I'm working on letting go of having the plan, and I know what I want to manifest. and I can keep that vision. But sort of like the right now, I signed up for someone's Calendly today, and it's like, what is one thing you want to do, be, or, you know, that whole thing. Like, and I was just like, one thing, like, I don't know. I haven't grown up yet. I haven't decided, and I don't want to be made to, and like, feel like if I can't answer that question, like, I need to panic, because if I don't know that, how could it happen?
If we hear snoring, it's sit on my lap.
Brian, sing it. Let it go.
That's what I was saying. I was waiting for you to start singing "Let It Go" while Nancy was.
Jay, okay, because I'm done saying your name wrong. So Jay, that's his new thing.
Oh,
JT.
We're all in on the secret right now.
JT, he's like Justin Timberlake.
A lot of people call me Cap, so we can just
Okay, Cap.
Yeah, everybody calls me Cap. So
For Captain
No
America.
cap. No cap.
I'm the Captain
I am the captain now.
Yeah, I am the captain.
All right, Cap.
I guess this path that I'm on now, I'm realizing that it's so serious. It's almost life and death, because I have just about everybody in my family, not just my children, but my whole family. All of my friends are kind of, for lack of a better word, depending on me. And I'm really starting to feel the weight of that, because now it's like I have to handle people differently. I have to be careful. And like I said, I manage some hotels for some foreigners. They're Indians. And we don't communicate well because, you know, they speak English, but not as well as I do. So one of the owner's mother, you know, we kind of talked, just kind of worked. And she stopped me this morning, actually, and was just like, you know, God is watching everything. You are a positive person. You have to continue to be positive. And for her to see that in me, and we don't talk a lot, it's like, wow, you know, you're paying attention. So it's like, I'm ready for it, but it's like, it's a lot that comes with when you're that person that everybody's looking at. I have to be on top of my game. I have to know when to hold them. I have to know when to fold them. And I kind of snapped out yesterday. You know,
Stop it. Stop it. Let him finish his sentence. Stop singing.
You called it out. Jeez. Okay, keep going.
So I kind of lost my cool yesterday. One of my employees had did something, you know, and looking back, you know, I had to take accountability for them because, you know, they work for me. So if they make a mistake, it all falls back. So I'm learning now how to, sometimes you got to make them tough calls, which I don't mind doing it, but it's like, I'm just like, why do I have to be the one? Like, you should know if this doesn't work, this is going to be the consequences. But by me being in this role, I have to be the one that has to be the bad guy. And I just don't like doing that. And it's like I'm having to become uncomfortable doing what I know that is going to benefit not just me, but benefit the overall thing. And that's something that I'm battling with extremely hard right now, because I don't want to be that person anymore. You know, I don't want to be losing my temper and all of that just over. In my brain, it's pettiness, but in their brain, they're not looking at it the way I'm looking at it. You know, everybody has their own perspective. So that's what's going on with me.
Real talk.
Jaris, you're so freaking cute. Like, and then he's like, that's going on with me.
Thank you.
Listen, Cap, that's a lot of weight to put on your shoulders. You got the weight of the world in your eyes on your shoulders. You're you know, right? Your in-house family, your external family, you know, wanting to make sure that you're not dropping anybody, that everything's balanced, and you know, sometimes it does get off balance, and it's good that you checked yourself because you realized it, like you caught it, right? And that's not something that you want to do. You don't want to come at people, and as you said, you kind of got comfortable being uncomfortable in the moment, and you know, as I always say, that's when you grow and learn, and that's when the magic happens unbeknownst to yourself at the time. You got to look back in reflection to see it, you know, post action, but the fact that you recognize it is like that's a really big deal, you know. again, it comes back to that whole like grounding of where you want to be, you know, and that's the other thing too. I mean, I was having this conversation with, I don't remember who I was having this conversation with, but actually we're talking about leadership, and it was, you know, the importance of leading with your heart. And, you know, it's easy to get trapped in the madness that exists and just kind of let it erupt, right? Versus always remembering where you're coming from, which is here, and putting yourselves in the shoes of others that you may not otherwise be thinking about. What are they going through? What's happening in their life right now? We're in the middle of a pandemic. What is in the world could be happening in their home right now, right? And here they are in this work environment, and something happens or something gets triggered, and you know, you have no idea. It's like that saying, right? You never know what someone else is going through, right? So I think in these times that we're living in, especially, yes, now more than ever, you know, we got to be sensitive to that. We have to be mindful of that. I mean, I've had tons of people that have, like, you know, canceled meetings or didn't show up or whatever. And there's some people that'll just be like, I'm not going to talk to them again, or I'm not going to make time I'm not going to save space to talk to them. That's not the way that I look at it. The way I look at it is, you know what? I have no idea what this person's going through, what happened, what, you know, hey, you know, it looks like you didn't have a chance to show up. I'm guessing something happened. I hope everything's okay. Feel free to find a time and let's just reschedule, you know, because the reality is your other reaction, right, could cause a chain reaction down a road that they're already going in. And what they really need is someone to go, hey, it's all right. You know, it's all good. So good on you, in a long way of saying it. Good on you for recognizing that, and just, you know, stay in that place. It's not easy. It's not supposed to be easy, but you have a huge heart, and you even said it. You're like, I don't want to be that person. That's because you have a huge heart. Just be the leader that you are with your heart, the way that you are always, and just constantly in the back of your mind, remind yourself, again, especially in these times, you never know what somebody else is going through. Somebody shows up late for work, somebody doesn't do the job right, somebody doesn't whatever. The question is really powerful. Are you okay?
Yep.
How can I help?
Yeah, and to
right?
what Brian was saying about you having a big heart, Jaris, what was that, 10 out of 10?
10 out of 10.
Okay.
Thank you, Brian.
And he's out.
Exactly.
You know how I could validate for what Brian was just saying about you? I look at your stance. Like, look at you right now, like real time. Like, you're in the moment. You're attentive.
Yeah.
If you were leading with your ego, you'd be like,
yeah, right.
Yep.
Sitting back. You're like attentive, and you're just taking it all in, and that's you're collecting the feedback, and that feedback that he's giving to you is valuable because that will just help you grow into an even better leader. And that, again, just speaks to your heart and who you are as a person. You're wanting to grow. I think all of us could probably attest to this at certain different points in our lives, because we're all on different paths. Let's not forget this. But we all come into a point where we're like, can I really do what I'm doing? And can I even do it at a higher level? I don't know. Right? And you're at that point where, like, I don't know if I can.
Yeah.
But there's something in you that says, no, you can do it. But it's so silent. Everything else externally is blocking out that little voice in you that's saying, I want to come out and I just want to, like, lead these people. I see something good in the people that I impact. But I just want to say, man, like, I'm just throwing out the vibe that I see in you, and that's tremendous, and that's remarkable, man. So, you know, I'll probably speak for everybody. I don't like to speak for everybody, but I'll speak for myself right now, and I'll say I am excited to see what the future holds for you, because if you could continue in this demeanor,
Yep.
woo, there's no stop.
Reggie, I don't even know if you saw the
Reggie, you can speak for Raquel, because I said, Reggie, you can speak for Raquel, because
Jaris, there's nothing about you that is not real.
Right.
And the fact that you're struggling with this is just like everyone said, it's a testament to who you are. You're not going to lose sight of it.
Yep.
The fact that you look at what you're doing and the impact you're having and how you might be able to shift things or grow through it, that's tremendous. And that's going to keep you on the path you're on, which, like you said earlier, there's something coming. There's definitely something coming. Don't beat yourself.
I'm really proud of everything that Kelly's been saying. So, she's really knocking it out of the park right now.
Yeah.
Kelly?
Raquel, what's one thing that you're struggling with?
So it's not that I'm really struggling with it. It's just something.
Then find a different thing. Find something. If it's not really struggling, then you've got to find something else.
She's struggling with her chair presence. She's moved from the couch. She's not quite sure how to handle it.
It's background, yeah. Well, I don't. You guys can come back to me, but I just wanted to point out that Jaris, the first time that we did our live with just 2-3 weeks ago, I just wanted to point out just the change in him and the way he's presenting himself with all of us and being so open and comfortable and just all of it, that to me is amazing. I love seeing that, Jaris, because you were quiet, very reserved. You were in the back. Now you're so in it, and you're just being so open with us and vulnerable, and it's a beautiful thing. So I just
want back in, Jaris. You sat back. Come back, Jaris. You can handle this. You can take this all in. There you go.
Do it all. That's right.
There you go. You can do this.
Well, I just appreciate you all because this is what I want to do, and people don't know this is not easy for me doing this right here. I can do it, but it's I have to prepare my mindset to do it, and just being live and sharing this moment with you, Jen. I kind of I feel like you and I are hitting it off just silently because I understand this is where everything what you're saying. So I just appreciate everybody's feedback, because when I was talking about asking for help, this is what I really need help with. How do I become comfortable? How do I know what I'm doing is right? And you all just kind of nailed it all solid. So tonight I'm going to reflect on this, and that's what helps me to gain my strength. So thank you all.
Jaris, can I add one more thing?
Yes, please.
So one of the things that I've learned in the years, and I've been in the staffing world for 15 years. So I see people of all demographics. And one thing that has always reminded me is people don't know what they don't know. And depending on how they were raised, depending on how they were grown up, they just may need those little nuggets to say, okay, here's what's appropriate of when to show up and how to be there and how to work. And if we can be that person for them and give them the tools, then it's up to them if they choose to receive it and move forward with it or not. But all we can do is give them the tools and the resources and the guidance and the love per se. And then it's on them. And, that you may have some tough lessons along the way, and there may be some people that unfortunately you have to move along, but they're going to learn a lesson at some point. And then they're going to reflect and say, oh, now I get it. That's what Jaris was trying to teach me. And it'll come full circle if you just keep being you. So.
Yeah, that's it. That's it right there.
That's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Brian, what's one thing that you're struggling with right now?
What am I struggling with right now? I had a moment the other day, actually. I took off power walking for a week and was out the other day and literally just broke down. I just had a moment. I lost it. I'm just everything kind of hit me at one time. And I took a picture of it and I actually posted it because I thought it was important to share it. I've had many of these moments, but I haven't shared them. And I thought in the moment, I was inspired to share it just because for some reason I felt there was a lot of people that were feeling that weight. And, there's a lesson in all of that and kind of listening to yourself and your body and paying attention. And so I think part of me has been struggling with just the balance. I've got a lot going on, and making sure that I'm making the time I need to for me, and then I'm taking the time that I need to for me, and recognizing that when I need more of that, you know, whether it's sleep or whatever it is, you know, to be present and aware of it. I mean, I'm tired. Like, you know, I'm not gonna lie. I'm feeling that tired. Like it all just kind of hit me at once and was like, you know, so I've been catching up on the sleep, and I've been more mindful about not pushing myself to have to do 8 miles and 200 to 250 push-ups a day or whatever, you know, during the week, even though I can. It's not that, it's more the after effect of it. Because my body's sore. Like, you know, this is all stuff I wasn't doing, you know, pre 9 months ago or whatever. So yeah, you know, it's just being aware of that. And I'm with the whole, I love you too, Tim. I'm with the whole manifestation too. Like, I'm a big believer in that. And like a few of you kind of said it in a couple different ways, you know, where, you know, Jen is putting it out into the universe about her 3-part series, and, you know, and Jaris is talking, Captain Jaris is talking about, like, you know, he's talking about his, I mean, it's just really good stuff, you guys, like straight up real talk. Like, this is really good stuff. And Mike, you're the catalyst to sparking it, and appreciate you. Because, you know, when you put these things out into the universe, whether they be the things you're struggling with, or whether they be the things that you want to manifest, right? Like Raquel getting really, she's confident now about her show, you know, and I remember us about her channel. I remember us talking about it when she was just a couple episodes in or whatever. And she's like, yeah, no, I'm not talking about it. I'm just recording him and posting him, recording him and posting him. And, you know, and she's putting the videos out there, and now she wants to take it to the next level, and she's feeling good about that. And I've told you in private, and I'll say it here, like, I'm really proud of you, Raquel, for going after something that you didn't know. You're like, I don't know about this thing, but I just feel it in my heart, and I got to do it, and it could flop, but I feel like there's something here. And the reality is, it allowed the kid in you to come out, because we all have that kid in us. We just haven't found the outlet to let it out. I have found it in my live shows. You have found it in your series. You know, we all find it in different ways. You know, Karina finds it in her painting, you know, in her singing, and her, right. Yeah. And yeah, exactly. Right. So Raquel sings too. I mean, she's a circus. I mean, so yeah, you know, but I'm a, not to derail, but like, I am a big believer that, like, we all have this kid inside of us that was that, you know, I believe I can. Right. And somewhere along the way, that I believe I can got smushed by something or someone or a bigger thing. And you're like, no, I need to show up in a suit now and do this job that I didn't know I was going to do for the rest of my life. Or I have to go and do this thing when that's not what I love. But the reality is, I don't know what I love, because I forgot about that 30, 40 years ago. Right. And so just like finding that love of whatever that thing is inside of you. And it's okay to not know if it's the right thing. It's okay to not know where it's going to go. It's okay to feel like you're just out of your league. But that's what pioneers do. You take the leap, you do something no one's done, and you learn from it. Because the worst thing that happens is that you learn from it, whatever it is, you know? So I'm learning. I'm always learning. Geez, I'm learning through all of this, and, you know, growing through all of it too. And, yeah, I mean, I'm struggling with the weight of the world myself. You know, I haven't hugged anybody outside my home for a year, pretty much. So that's a big struggle for me, because I'm a very physical person, and like
2 weeks ago, I hugged a pizza delivery person.
I'm not surprised.
Beautiful.
Seriously, I bet they
Kelly.
needed it.
It was Kelly, and I think she did. And I think she did. Brian, look, I mean, I wouldn't be on video if it wasn't for you. I don't know if I ever would have made it to live if it wasn't for you. We've had deep talks, right? Like, and we've talked about shit. We've gone deep. And look, I mean, all we can do is be our best us, right? Like, you know, your exercising went to this maximum capacity mode because you wanted to put full focus into it, right? Just like you wanted to do hundreds and hundreds of days of videos and hundreds of days of posts. You know, you put everything you had into it, and it was your outlet, right? Like it became your outlet, and now your body needs rest, and that's okay. Remember, you're still my little big brother, so you gotta rest that you gotta rest that body, man. Like, you
That's
put it
right.
into, you went
Yes.
straight into mode, like you went over the top, and you just went into that crush it mode, and
No, it's
I'm
true,
so
Mike. It
I mean,
is
I'm
because
proud of you.
I mean,
I'm proud of you
it,
for doing it, but you know, you put yourself in a position to burn yourself out and hurt yourself.
yeah, no, you're speaking the truth. I think about Gabe, I think about me, I mean, honestly, a lot of us have kind of gotten into those scenarios where it may be a ramp, right? But we ramp into, yeah, you know, it's interesting. Like if I think about me and Gabe, it's actually similar parallels, just a different universe where he's live every single day for 100 days and then he gets burnt out and then he says he's not doing it anymore. And then he comes back and does it again. And then he gets burnt out again. And, you know, and it's like, okay, so you got to learn again because you didn't learn it the first time that this isn't the healthy thing for you to do. Right. And even Nancy has said it to me, you know, it's like, you don't have to go 8 miles and do 300 push-ups. Like go 4 miles and do 100. We were even talking about it today. She's like, look, can you please just like, how many miles are you going to do? Can you just do like 4 miles? How about like just 100 push-ups? And I wouldn't commit because I didn't know what I was going to feel good doing. But yeah, I mean, you know, we all have our different kind of vices, outlets, whatever it is. And I think it's just having a sense of awareness and knowing what's good for you and recognizing that, right? Just recognize, okay, hey, this is too much, or hey, this is good. You know, because you cross a border of unhealthiness. It's like, you know, where honestly, in my case, it's like my body hurts all the time. Like I mean, sitting is not good for extensive periods of time, but I'm just sore. Like I'm sore and I stretch, but not as much as I need to. I need to stretch more. But I guess the point is, yes, you know, less can be more is, I think, really an important lesson to take away. And like I said, you know, always learning, always growing. Well, not growing up anymore, but, you know, growing in other ways. So
and there's something to be said for like we do the things we do because they make us feel good, right? And they fuel us and all those different things. But if what you're doing it to the point of exhausting yourself or that you can't continue to do it, then you've gotten into this cycle where then you're starting over because you're doing this thing that's going to feel good and you committed to it and you're going to overdo it and end up right back where you were. And ultimately, like you said, it's either burnout or your body is going to knock you the fuck down and say, you know,
yeah, exactly. And that goes for anything. It goes for anything.
Oh yeah,
you know,
it's all of it. It's anything can become that thing, right? We start it. It depends on, you know, and Mike can speak from a really profound perspective on this. But you know, our healthy coping habits can become maladaptive behaviors.
Yeah.
That's why I stick to smoking so much, because it's just not healthy, and I know it. So at least I keep one that's bad. So Kelly, since you left yourself in screen, what's one thing you're struggling with right now?
Can we change it to working to overcome? Because struggling isn't empowering, but working to overcome is empowering.
Karina.
I love that.
Oh, way to save Kelly.
No, it's
That's
the
fine.
same thing, but you're putting it in your power instead of in a place of scarcity.
Absolutely.
Hey, go for it.
It's still
So
your turn, Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly, you're not getting out of your turn. Whatever Karina said, Kelly.
I just changed the semantics, but it's still your turn.
Whatever Karina said, Kelly.
Darn it.
Sorry, Karina, what was that? What was that?
What you're working to overcome.
Okay.
Reggie's unpacking things over there. It's all right. We got you, Kelly.
Yeah, I know. Two things. letting go of what's holding me back, what I know is holding me back, and trusting myself and leaning into my purpose.
Yeah, those are good ones.
That's as much as I want to share right now.
It's all about simplicity.
I am all about simplicity. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be complicated, right?
No, it never does. We complicate it.
Yeah, and I want to.
We're our own worst enemies.
Karina, I want to give you the credit for what's just happened for me. So when I was asked, like, what am I struggling with? It was really hard, and I kind of came up with this answer that's true, but it's not really the thing I'm struggling with. I'm I'm uncomfortable, but I'm okay with it. But when you say, like, what is it I'm working to overcome? That's a whole different question to me.
Yeah.
So thank you.
So Karina will
I
do our
think you can
future
even take
script.
it.
I have to admit that's the way I answered it though, Karina, when I'm overcoming.
And I think you can even take it further than that. It's just what's your focus at the moment, right?
That's right.
Even overcoming, there's a negativity there. Right?
Like, what's your place of growth? What's your place of growth right now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What are you trying to unpack
Words
if
are
we're talking in
powerful.
Reggie's terms?
So
Words are so powerful. It's really important to be meaningful and intentional on the
Our
words.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Reggie, what are you doing all that they said? Because I don't even know where the words are anymore. So somebody
What is your focus at the
Reggie, what are you
There you go.
unpacking right now?
First and foremost, I just want to say, Michael, thank you for having me part of this conversation, and thank you for introducing me to some amazing people. Like, real talk. I remember I said that a couple weeks ago when we went live. Like, I think we were at, what was it, 3 for 3 at that time, or 4 for 4, and like that number has increased. I've met more people that you've introduced me to, and as everybody knows, Michael has a good read, and I call him Professor X from the X-Men. It's just like
I love that.
he uses Cerebro to bring all of us together, just like this conversation right now.
Yes.
So that's 1. 2, I'm trying to overcome the urge of going to Virginia to see Raquel. So there's that. So I'm struggling with that.
Yeah. Heard that about you.
But real
Kelly,
talk.
can you put them closer to each other, please?
They really need that connection.
There.
there you go.
Hang on, let me make this happen. Hold on a second.
Oh, Cerebro. Okay.
All right, it's gonna happen.
But
there it is.
Real talk, honestly, I think it's a mixture between, I would say, what Jaris is going through and Brian as well. It's like you try to be everything to everybody, and you know you can't because you're just like this one person. And because we have such big hearts and we're empathetic to human beings and we want to help as much as we can, I get into that mode where I'm like, I gotta answer this DM, or I gotta respond to this comment. Like I gotta do it in a timely fashion. I'm trying to like hold back and reserve some of that energy to all the other things that I need to do, because I'm doing a lot. Like there's a lot of things behind the scenes that I don't even share with you guys that I'm doing in terms of project work. And Nancy hit me up this week too, and she's like, "Yo, what's up?" Brian hit me up this week. What's going on? And I'm just like, dude, I'm just trying to get focused. Right? I'm not trying to get up in all the noise. So that's what I'm really trying to do in terms of prioritizing what I need to focus on versus also giving back, because I'm a go-giver at the end of the day, and I want to be able to make sure everyone's okay. And even like Karina this week, I'm like, I felt it within my spirit. I'm like, yo, I need to talk to you. And I gave her some feedback just because I see a lot of greatness in her and she has a lot of runway. But I still need time for me,
Reggie, I've been giving you your space, so you should appreciate it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not needy. I leave you alone.
I know. We have a schedule.
Which is kind of true.
There's only so much couch presence allowed during a period of days.
Now is when so I'm doing a good job of giving your space.
But I would say outside of all those things, it's about, being true to what you want to do. And in my mind, I have so many ideas and thoughts and I want to be so many things. And because of my nature, it just forces me to just keep going. And I break sometimes. Your body will shut down if you don't. But we all have goals. We all have things that we want to accomplish, right? So that's what I would say, a high level of what I'm struggling with right now, or trying to overcome.
Trying to overcome. We're focused on.
We shall overcome.
Karina, where are you at?
Well, first, I just want to say, because I think it's really relevant to like what I have to share and what everyone else has shared, that expectations are the seed of resentment. And every single one of the things that people have shared is what I should be doing, or what they should have known, or what I want for myself and need to hold myself accountable to. And like, I think accountability is good. Don't get me wrong. It's just that we can have goals for ourselves in the long term and in the micro day to day. And at the same time, give ourselves grace and not do something that doesn't feel authentic in a moment because we think we should be doing that thing. Like today, I woke up and things were presenting themselves as like frustrations. And it took me 10 minutes to get the smoothie thing off, the lid off the smoothie.
That happened.
And my mind was telling me this narrative of like, if there was a man here, he could do it, or something stupid like that. And I know what that actually is me being pissed off that I was broken up with. And then I was like, okay, yeah, that's just stupid. Like I can open this thing and it's going to just take me some time. And so what I decided to do was like, what can I do to bring myself joy like immediately? Because clearly I'm being frustrated by like little things. And so I went to I went to the beach and I knew, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What? Listen,
We're not people that are freaking dealing with cold ass weather.
I know. That's
We're
why.
wearing freaking beanies.
Wait, we're supposed to
Like,
Shut up.
you're just wearing an
supposed to
apron.
be that
No,
space
you're
where
just-
she
you
doesn't
have
have
no-
to
you have-
apologize.
Listen,
know?
you have Kelly, take her off right now. She's wearing just an apron.
Nancy, I'm not
I'm wearing
actually
it
sorry.
too. I got
Okay,
long
good.
johns on. You even know what long johns are?
Sorry,
You know
no,
what they are?
sorry.
Why are you talking
is
about
that?
long
Yeah.
johns?
Is that like
She was doing, like
COVID?
social fake there. She was doing the social fake to make everybody else feel better.
It was
She
totally a
apologizes, but there really was no.
Karina. Chris Berryman has a question. Is that a tan? Chris Berryman.
It is a sunburn. There is a sunburn.
Yeah.
It is a sunburn.
Yes,
It is.
She got burned by the snow that's not
I
in
put
Florida.
sunscreen on twice.
Yes. Well, you know what? I live in Florida and I'm not sorry about that. I'm not. We are the America of America. So we have plenty to be ashamed of. And I'm still choosing not to be. But, you know, in realness, that's what I needed to do. And you know what it is too, in the connection to the Most High, like Cap was saying earlier, boom. I took the time I needed. I made myself a little picnic and I wrote, like Jen had written 2 poems today. I wrote, and the last thing I wrote was presence in my purposeful being. Here we are. And then I just packed up my book and went to the car, and I got in the car, and as soon as I turned the key, I saw 2 people I recognized like walking right in front of the windshield. And like I turned off the car and I ran after them. And I recognized them because they're TikTok famous and I love them. Like I love you. Like I can't believe I ran after you, you guys. And they were so excited to see me. And I hugged the first person I've hugged in a long time, like in that moment. And I told her about my art and stuff, and she was like, "Oh, I'd love a portrait." So it's cool because one of the things that I have been challenged with is that I had some work that I ended up like having to negotiate with myself, and then they were undercutting me, and then now I haven't even heard from them. So I don't even think that this, like, my work for March is like going to come through. And so that's why your post about asking for help really inspired me, because I realized, like, oh, I got a little choked up. I realized that, I need help securing like some big painting commissions for myself in the coming months, because I need it to not fall through in the way that this one has, and to be able to support myself. But what's amazing is that I did what I needed today to bring myself joy, and I was present, and I wrote in my presence about my presence, and here we are. And then a moment like that presented itself, and not only could I possibly be doing a painting with them, but it could give me really amazing exposure if I did work with them. But even if I don't, I know that whatever the divine has to throw at me, I'm ready to receive. And because of that, it'll come.
Yeah.
So that would be my answer.
Amen
Good
to
answer.
that.
Good answer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's either me or Raquel now.
Hey, you should go back to Raquel. She's had enough time to think.
Yep.
Well, I mean, it's something that I have. I mean, I don't know if I want to talk about it.
I'm here for you, baby.
Oh, Jaris just leaned in. You're talking.
Let's talk.
How can you deny that, Raquel? How can you deny that?
You're in a safe space.
But
You're in a safe space. This isn't, and this will never go anywhere.
oh, what? No, that's it's putting me vulnerable.
We're just gonna take 20 micro clips to promote this episode, and it'll be everywhere. It's okay. I'm just joking.
It's okay, Raquel. I don't think I shared what my deepest struggle is. It just wasn't time.
Raquel,
Yeah, I think that it's good to know that
you've told me multiple
Reggie,
times.
it's
love me
you.
and
That's
everything.
why
Like,
she doesn't
I
want
get
to
it. Like,
let it out. So.
it's just-
Yeah. No, you know what?
just
I'm
let
gonna
everybody know.
honor the moment, and I'm not going to share it.
I think that's fair. I
That's
think we should
super,
all
super,
accept
super,
that.
super.
It's something that I know that I need to do.
Yeah.
It's an internal thing, and I'm in a place where I don't want to share it because, and it's not that I'm going to be judged, but
You
I
don't
just
have to justify it.
yeah, I'm just not yeah.
You're not ready. They're not ready.
That's right.
I didn't.
And that's something that I'm learning, because I am so open and so transparent that sometimes I share a little bit too much of things that later I'm like, you know what, that was something that I needed to hold space for it and not be so quick to share. And so that's something that I'm trying to be better at, is just hold space for certain things they're not everybody should be privy to.
Reggie, I'm holding
a good
space for
share.
you on my couch right now.
It's not your couch he wants to be on, Brian. I'm sorry to
the
disappoint you.
translation was accurate.
Okay.
But yeah,
I think it's good to know when it's time to just deal with what you're dealing with and not broadcast it live.
Yeah, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. So it's all right.
Yes.
and that's part of like,
Yeah.
that's part of like what it is, and I'm so it's all relevant. But
For me, it was sort of like I know I'm struggling. I'm not yet entirely clear on what it is or where it's coming from. So I don't want to assign it something that's not true.
Yeah.
And speak it out into the world and get feedback from people that will, solidify, direct it in a certain way, even though it'll be lovely feedback, until I first have a better sense of where it's coming from and what it's trying to tell me.
exactly, that's you said it so much better than I could say it, because I can't.
You can't.
Well, it's all
Well,
packed under the beanie,
Yeah, that's what
so
happens.
it's all right.
Just like I'm not very eloquent with my words. And that's okay.
Sure.
That's
Oh,
fine.
but baby,
No,
you're
you-
eloquent on that couch, though.
It's a swivel chair, Reggie.
Nice. Swivel. Yes. That's your swivel presence.
She's done it again.
Reggie, did you tell us, like, if you walked in and you said chair, but did you mention swivel chair? If she walked in and she was in a swivel chair,
I'd be upset.
I'd be upset. That's still
She swiveled in.
Be upset.
okay.
And it has little studs on it and
Alright.
everything.
Still
Well,
unacceptable, Raquel. Just
So
know.
Raquel, we will respect that. We
Thank
respect you.
Reggie will come back. Reggie will back it up later and unpack that.
Be
when
like,
it's
tell me,
time.
what is it?
So Professor X, Michael P.
Yeah.
Yes,
Good job.
yes,
Good job, Mike.
Struggling
yes,
with right now.
yes.
Oz.
What
Tell
I'm
us.
what I am working on overcoming, growing through, struggling with, whatever we want to call it, it's all the same. Is fully embracing my own self-worth and fully accepting it, and putting myself first and standing behind my boundaries.
Good. Yes.
Because it's a struggle for me. And, you know, I want to fall back into old tricks and I want to fall back into old habits and I just want to, right? Like it's 41 years of programming and, you know, 41 years of not believing I was worth a bag of shit, right? So, and to understand where I'm at today and how far I've come and really appreciate my own value is very difficult for me. And it's something that I'm understanding and I'm working through daily. And like each step feels like a milestone throughout this process. But it's very difficult and it's not easy for me.
Kelly, can you put me up next to Mike real quick, please? Thank you.
Are you gonna blow
All right.
You're gonna give him a
big
hug?
I want to
big
give him a
hug?
hug.
She worked real
I
quick.
want to just give my brother a hug.
I
I'm proud of
mean,
you.
Harder than it looks. There we go.
Yeah.
But-
Reggie-
Mike, you're doing it.
You are.
But
Reggie, if you get any closer to your screen, we're not going to see you anymore. Just saying. Go ahead, Mike.
I mean, but you know, everybody says, right, like Professor X, and I do all these great things, and I do, and I know I do, and I accept that today. But truly believing that to my core and truly understanding the value that I bring on a personal level is unpacking 41 years of bullshit and trying to really understand the core root issue of what those triggers started at, not the current circumstances that might trigger those core issues,
Mm-hmm.
the reality of where the core was. And going through these deep processes and literally spending hours daily digging through the shit, it's very challenging and it's very tough. And as much as 4 podcasts was draining today, it was probably the hours I spent digging through shit in between. But I'm doing it and I'm not stopping and I'm not running from it. And I'm proud of myself for doing it, but it sucks ass. And it doesn't help that I'm 9 days in a row trapped in the house with the kids 24/7. So that's not helping my cause right this moment. But it's, you know, I know that's where I'm at, and at times it doesn't appear that way because I come off very confident. I come off very secure, and when I say it about other people, it's 100% confidence. But if I had to do that mirror and I had to look at myself and say anything quality about myself, I would say it at the moment. I would believe it at the moment, but then I would question it later if it's really true. Because I've been programmed for so long and I've been blame shamed and guilted and all this crap that I've carried my whole life that just made me feel like none of it was ever true. Because it was half true, or it was, yeah, this is all true, but then I'm going to go act this way and it's not, right? And I know that's not on me, but the reflection comes to me and it hurts at times.
Mike,
Yes.
for what it's worth, you have brought these people together who are amazing people that you know are amazing people.
Yep.
You did that, right? The person you are, the person you're doubting, is the person who attracted these people that I know that you respect and admire and care about.
Yep.
And those moments that come later where the doubt comes into play are brand new moments in the present moment and opportunities for you to say those kind things to yourself again. So when the question comes, it's not about answering the question necessarily or figuring out why you're questioning or where the root of that comes from, but rather just, I am Michael and I am kind. And in this moment, I'm going to choose to love myself through it. And we love you. Like a lot.
So much. So much love for you.
Jaris give you 10 out of 10.
It's like Olympics over here.
And Mike, you are very bravely.
That's right.
Very bravely, under extraordinary circumstances, refusing to give up on yourself.
Yeah.
And you know what, Mike? You're freaking right. You are right.
I'm
When you
like
say
that.
that it's gonna take you a while to reprogram all that shit, call it out. Call a spade, right? But just like what Karina said, I think that was extremely powerful, what you just mentioned about you. But how many times have you received a message just like Karina positioned it versus the previous 41 years? Like that chatter, you weren't receiving that type of dialogue. You're probably receiving, it was like probably total opposite, right? So I think that's where we all, I think collectively, have to give ourselves permission. Like when it comes back to that one question that you asked everybody, what is that key thing that's holding us together in terms of moving forward? It's giving ourselves permission to be who we are in the present, as Karina would mention, and relishing in the value that we have to offer moving forward, not to ourselves, but to others.
Right.
And Mike, don't forget how much you've grown in the last couple of years. And I can say that because I know what you've grown through the last couple of years. You have, by all odds, beaten so many things that any one of them would have just beat somebody to the ground.
And Mike, to follow that, I know the growth that you've had in the last week.
And while I know it's crazy to be with your kids packed in the house for the last 9 days, remember you are in your house packed with your kids.
Shit, I would love to see my kids. I haven't seen my kids since 86, it feels like.
86.
Were you even born in 86, Reggie?
Listen, dude.
Well,
I know black don't crack. but I'm really 55.
55. I'm very proud of you, Mike.
Yeah, you know what, Mike? You always have such kind words for us. Let's all take a minute and give back to Mike. So
I had the same thought. I'm so glad you said that. Yes, we're gonna give Mike a nice. And the rule is you have to really hear it. You have to.
Well, no, like he hears it.
Do I really have to though? Do I have to hear it? Because I don't know.
You do.
I don't know if I can handle that.
You're capable of it. You are so capable of it. Look at Jaris leaning in.
Look at
I'm putting down the brush.
Jaris looks so cute. Look at it. Look at that smile. Look at that smile, Jaris.
Wait, Billy, put Jaris next to him now.
Look at Mike. The reason why is because look at you're letting it out. You're letting it out, man. You're just putting your emotion. I see you. Like I know you got tears right now, and
it's okay.
You were terrified to just get in front of the camera, and you have gotten so comfortable being uncomfortable that you're just you. Whatever you're feeling, you're just letting it out. That's a big deal, and I know how hard it is for you to consume the good that I know, because I struggle with it too. The good that people throw at you and tell you, how wonderful you are and what a huge heart you have and what an incredible human being you are, even though you don't have hair and you are, and you're consuming it. And I know it's uncomfortable, but you have a lot of love around you, and you will continue to have a lot of love around you. And as we are all growing in our different ways, I think the most important thing out of all of this is realizing that none of us are alone. There's 8 people right here, and however many people are with us, you know, every step of the way in the comments on whatever platform it is that are out there saying yes. And they're saying the same thing. We know we're not alone, and you're not, right? Because we don't have to go through, I think that's one of those, whatever word you choose to choose, struggle, growth, acceptance, whatever. I can pretty much guarantee you that every single one of us at some point is going, we feel like we're alone. And the reality is that we're not. But it goes back to the thing that Karina was saying earlier when she saw Jaris's post that asked for help, which is really hard to put out there.
Yeah.
Right? It's really hard to put yourself out there and ask for help. And I can tell you that from experience too. Like, that's a struggle, especially if you're a giver. You don't take, you give. To even someone to come at you and say, how can I help you? And you're like, I'm good. I don't know. Let me come back to you on that. Or maybe you don't even say that. You're like, wow, thank you. I have no idea, but thank you. You know, even that's a step in itself. So Mike, this is Mike's therapy session right now. He's smoking already.
It was a therapy session for me, so.
And Mike, you have this amazing ability to connect people. I mean, as evidenced just by here, that we've come together, you've connected us and amplified everything about each one of us. But you also do that. There are a lot of connections that you have shared with each one of us that are not on the screen tonight that have been exactly the connection we needed at the time that we needed it. And you see that. You see that for everyone. And that is a gift. And so
because I have a spirit animal and I know my 63-year-old self.
Yes.
Boy and Mark. So thank you.
No, but I'm serious. Like, you, especially in a time when we're all disconnected or feeling like we're disconnected, you have managed to create opportunities and real connections between people. That's who you are.
Mike's heard that before. I've told him that.
I've told him that.
He knows that. And he knows that. He knows that. That's his.
It's not about him knowing it. It's about him hearing it from people here that he has relationships with, like I said, that I know he respects and admires and cares about. So it's not, and whether he knows it, it doesn't mean he's feeling it. So
amen.
There's a disconnect there. And Mike, you're feeling it right now. So rather than let you off the hook, somebody else jump in and talk about Mike.
Jen is ready. Jen.
All right, Mike.
Jen.
Kelly, move Jen next to Mike.
Yes, move Jen over. Michael Paterano, this is your life.
It's the opposite of a roast.
All right, Michael.
You had no idea this is an intervention.
I have a lot. This is an intervention. Yes. We have gotten, I mean, your family to me, and we've only known each other for a few weeks. And you have had such a profound impact on my life. I can't even tell you. I mean, I looked to not only after the podcast I saw you on and I reached out, and you saw something in me that I wasn't seeing in myself with me bringing my voice to live. The reason I'm here is because of you. The reason I did a podcast with you a few weeks ago was because of you. I wasn't using that before. You knew exactly which connection, and everyone said it already. You knew which connections I needed in that moment to not only me help bring my gifts to them and help them thrive, but what I needed to thrive in that moment. There's so much more, but in addition to that, you showed me vulnerable in a way that I thought I had to hide for myself of being vulnerable. And you are so open and willing to be real with everybody. It makes it easy to openly share the shit that we've been through without having to hold back, without fear of feeling judged, without fear of criticism. You make it easy to just be yourself. And and on this is, you have this way of seeing gifts. We've had a lot of conversations. I mean, we're family, so now you're stuck with me. So sorry for you. And and you see the gift in every single person of their uniqueness, as a realness, as a genuineness of why they're such a good human for the gifts that they bring. So that's who you are. I'm confident in saying to all of us, but probably to everyone watching as well.
Yeah, and you connect us to our gifts. That's a big thing. You're all about the connection, and the timing is always divine. The timing is you know what it is? You see people.
That's right.
Mike, you really see people. And I'm getting chills just thinking about it, because there's not a lot of people out there like that.
That's right.
I'm listening.
Yeah, you're hearing.
Mike, how cool is that, man? Like, Jen basically just told you that you helped her find her voice and helped her get on camera. And I got to just tell you, man, I think that's incredible. I think
there is no greater gift coming from someone who has lost her voice in the past than giving someone their voice back. There's no greater gift.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've been
giving you claps.
I'll go next.
Yes. Cap claps.
Yes. We need Kelly.
Hercules. Yes.
I love it. For me, I'm not even going to touch on the extra bonus connections that I've been gifted, because everyone else has already said the truth in that. I'm just going to focus on like what the conversations with you have opened my mind to. But the divine introduced us to one another in a moment that I was ready to open my consciousness to my past life experiences, when I was resisting the ability to regress in that way and understand the traumas that I experienced on multiple levels. Like, you helped guide my soul through seeing traumas that I didn't experience, but my soul did. And it made me see in clarity in a safe, protected space, things that I had yet to heal from. And opening that consciousness has awakened me moment to moment to so many other like gifts of wisdom that I didn't know were even possible for me to see. And like the fact that I have been able to realize all of what I've realized from that experience of releasing like my emotional attachments and really observing like what are my vices, and knowing I had the power to choose to let those things go, even if it's going to take time to be able to overcome those things. Like, I know for certain I would not have my consciousness wouldn't have unlocked those doors if I didn't trust myself to take your call. And you called, and you trusted yourself to call, in knowing that my mission as well is to connect with love as a conduit of the divine. Without having trusted yourself in that moment, like, I wouldn't be here. I know that much. And I still would be like in this cycle of abuse within myself that I didn't recognize before because my consciousness wasn't awakened to it. So to me, that's like the ultimate gift. I mean, the other people that are both around me and not like are additional gifts, but just that one like realization has propelled me so much further than like when I look at my planner, it's like 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks. Like, how is that possible? You know? Seriously. Like, I'm amazed.
It's possible because that's Mike. That's what Mike does.
Because it's the universe, and it's not, and it's about being able to be a conduit in that way, and that's what Mike does. And that's, you're right, is fucking cool. Like, seriously.
We love you, man.
We love you, Mike.
You are so loved.
Thanks, Mike.
You are seen and valued.
That's right.
I so admire your ability to be vulnerable, especially in this time right now. You know how important that is. As a man, for the masculine, as the masculine awakens, right? It's so important for you to be the example. The fact that you can sit here on screen and receive this and just lay all your dirt out there for everybody to see, that's power. That's so much power. I know this is painful for you, and that in itself is so vulnerable and so powerful and so beautiful. What an example.
Ellie, can you pull him to the middle?
I don't, maybe?
There we go.
Group hug.
You know who you are. You know your magic. You are so intuitive. Every conversation you have with any human being is a gift. You change people in 30 minutes. You know.
The other cool thing, Mike, is you let us change you.
That's right.
You allow yourself to grow through your interactions with other people. You let us into your heart. You let us into your being.
Can I ask if everyone has like received the Mike experience in a manner where he just like, you two need to connect?
Yeah.
Need to connect.
That's it. That's his line.
That's it. You two need to connect. Nothing more. You two need to connect.
Let's discuss this for a quick.
And I've started doing it for other people.
Wait a second.
Okay, hold on.
Reggie, before you pull out into this, Reggie.
Wait a minute. Reggie wants to back up a minute. Hold on.
Before we get all jokey and like pull out of the seriousness, like, sorry, like, I want to honor this moment for Mike, where he is receiving all this before we just jump off and start.
No, this isn't.
No, Reggie's trying to continue.
I was about to
his
go
thought.
back to Mike.
Okay.
This is all testament to him.
I love you laying down the law, though, Nancy. That's good voice right there.
Yeah, Nancy, just wait for me to speak, okay? Next time.
Always waiting on you, Reggie. Always waiting.
Listen, it may not come out as fast as you want it to, and that's by design.
Push your vibe, Reggie.
Okay, but let me put it up front now because Nancy wants it up front. The gift that Michael has when he sees two people, the vibes of two people, he connects them instantaneously in a matter where I remember being in a situation, multiple situations, where I'm meeting this person for the first time because, hey, we're here because Michael sent us, right? Yeah. All right, cool. So, what do we want to talk about? I don't know. Why don't we just introduce ourselves and we'll go from there, and maybe something will happen. Okay, go. And when we get into that conversation, boom, boom, boom. As the other person's speaking, you're like, what? Wait a minute. Like, you, sir, were able to see that without giving any of us context. And when we come out of that conversation, we enjoyed every single minute. Personally, and everybody, now Nancy, you could chime in if you want. But I've not personally ever experienced that in my life where someone has said, you two need to talk, not giving me the underlying reason, and we all uncovered at the end, and we're like, oh my God, like Mike's got a gift. That's the experience that we have. And I'm forever grateful for you, because not only did you say that, I want to introduce you, but you actually did it. Some people just talk. I'll do this, but they don't follow up. You did, man. And for that, like, I'm grateful for you, and like, other people are grateful here for you as well. But you've changed my life in that regard, man. You've connected me with some amazing people. I'm like, Lord, thank you for using Michael as like the vehicle, the conduit. So appreciate you, man. Is that okay, Nancy? We're good.
Cap claps.
No, I want to jump in, guys, and say something real quick before I have to get off. I don't know everybody's, spiritual preference, so I'm just going to speak on myself. That is why I appreciate you, because you have introduced me to one person in particular. I'm not going to mention this person's name, but we was joking and we was talking about calling you X-Man, but you got it, because you don't even know that one person that you introduced me. I mean, I'm not going to say you don't know. That's why you introduced me to her, so we could do what we're doing now. And I'm like, I feel like I have to let you know, because I feel like the mission that you are on, you need confirmation that what you did was right. And I needed that. And this is one of the main reasons that I'm vibrating as high as I am. And I don't know what kind of insights you have. It's almost spooky, getting chills now thinking about it. But I can let you know, speaking on me, man, what you did. And I was like, when I was talking to the person, I was just like, I didn't want to deal with it because it was just too much. But I knew it was something that I had to deal with. And we was on live, and you told me, you said, man, stop being, your exact words were, stop being so stubborn. And I was like, hold on now. But I had to see what you're saying. I was being stubborn. I have a special gift. I have a special assignment that's been assigned to me that I was running from. And I don't know I know how you saw it. And I appreciate you for doing that, because to me, that's what it's all about. So I'm not going to say too much now, but I'm learning from you. And I told you this last week. I'm learning very quickly, right? And I kind of see what's going on, but I don't want to jump the guns. I don't want to speak it. But I see something that's being worked behind the scenes, very, very, very special. And thank you for that.
That was amazing.
And Mike already knows how I feel about him. I'm just not. I don't. For me, it's really difficult. Nancy knows this. It's hard for me to express my feelings, so I'm not going to even try, to be honest.
Don't worry, Raquel's going to make a painting. It'll say everything.
No, seriously. Like, I'm not going to even.
I am.
It wouldn't be genuine, because it would be me trying to say what everybody else is saying, and it's different. And you and I talk like friggin' almost every single day, and we laugh, and he knows.
It's funny, right? Because I've always had these gifts, and I've always ran from them, and I've always been scared shitless of them, because I refuse to embrace myself, and I refuse to step into myself. And so many times in my life, I was blamed, shamed, and guilted for it, and people didn't want to believe or wanted to believe, and then when they saw that it really happened, they blamed, shamed, and guilted me. And it compiled over the course of my life, right? And it just built this wall up within me. And every day I'm taking a brick away from that wall, because I see how it impacts you guys. I see how it impacts those closest to me and that I care most about. And to me, whether I know you for a day or whether I know you for 30 lifetimes, 50 lifetimes, since the beginning of time, it's all the same to me, right? Like, time doesn't mean anything to me. There's a connection that's deeper than time. And I talk on levels that are deeper and different than most people can ever even imagine or comprehend or understand. Sid, are you really up again? Oh, thank God. Okay, how can I help you, you? I'm in the middle of something. What's up?
I'm in the middle of something.
What? So make Tommy popcorn. Why are you asking me? It's not going to wake her up. Worried about making popcorn and waking the kid up? She's got to fall off the bed on her head to wake up. I mean, the kid fell asleep at the table sitting up. It's painful, right? Like going through this shit is painful, and pushing through the crap to remove those bricks one brick at a time hurts. And the only reason I have the strength to do it is because of the impact that I have on those closest to me. It reminds me of why I'm here and what I'm here to do. And yeah, I'm one of those people that just doesn't care about airing their stuff out publicly. I'm really am the oversharer, right? Like I sent Brene Brown an email today and I titled it, I am embracing the oversharer. I don't care. I have nothing to hide, right? Yeah, there is a bigger plan at work, and there always is, right? And that was shown to me when I was 5 years old, and I didn't believe it then, and I'm still having trouble believing it now. But it's true, and it's falling in place, and it's all working, and it's just hard sometimes, right? It's hard to accept what we are. And I know that we all have these struggles in different ways at different times. It's challenging, right? And I lean into those closest to me, and I lean into those around me. And I count on those around me to support for me while I go through this struggle, right? Because it's a constant struggle. It's a constant battle. It's a constant, pushing through. And sometimes I get fixated on certain topics that aren't even relevant just because it's a deflection or it helps me relate to something else I'm deflecting from. The reality is my biggest struggle is me. It's not anything outside of me. No matter what I say, no matter how I feel, no matter what my feelings are, it's my struggles with me. And my biggest battle in this life is with me to fulfill my purpose. And I understand that. And I go into my zones where like my intuition just completely takes over, and I don't even know what I'm doing in those zones sometimes. Like I don't even realize what I'm doing at those moments, and it's just flowing through me. It's probably like how Raquel feels when she paints, or when Jarvis is a robot and flying around, killing people. I think I don't know if you've seen that Avengers yet, so I'm not going to ruin the surprise for you there, Raquel. But it's or when Brian's sending out positive vibes all day long, right? And when he has his hard days, he does it even more often because he knows that the universe brings it back, right? He sends his love out knowing that it's coming back tenfold, right? When Reggie's having his shows with any of his guests and he's leaning into his intuition and he's guiding these conversations in a different manner than he did last season, right? Because he's seeing something differently now. When Jen is talking about her and her story and who she is and how she's overcome and sharing her strength with the world, when Karina is being her pixie self and just floating through, sharing her wealth of wisdom that she doesn't even fully understand yet or comprehend, that in a lot of ways mankind's not even ready for yet, but she's putting it out there for the world to see. And when Nancy is just being Nancy, which is just perfectly imperfect and just lighting up the world in her own way, right? And being there for those that she cares about and fighting her battles like we all have. And we're all in this together. And as much as this is a compliment to me and I am accepting it, I'm not deflecting it as much as I normally would.
Don't forget Kelly.
Kelly's just Kelly. Kelly
I could
Kelly
not hear Mike
is
that entire time.
perfect. Kelly's
I
just,
can't hear him.
well, then you're not
You
missing
can't
anything.
hear him?
No, this has been a problem all day. Every single time. Actually, the last 3 days. She keeps telling me to reboot my phone, thinking that's gonna fix it.
It's okay, you're good. She'll watch it.
I think rice doesn't work in lap.
I love you. I have no idea what I'm saying.
You know, I think, Kelly's my right hand person. She's forever. She's just in my life as family. Like, she's just there, and we lift each other, we empower each other, we amplify each other, and we're here to do what we're all meant to do, and together we can accomplish anything, right? And there's a lot more of us that aren't on the screen right now. StreamYard only allows 10 of us, so even if we did reach out to everybody, not everybody would fit. This is just beginning, right? And part of that is me getting through this struggle and getting through my own bullshit.
Yeah.
And maybe by me doing it inspires others in here to do it, right? Because we all have our own shit. We all have shit that we can't express, that we can't explain, that we don't know where to start with. And maybe by me being my vulnerable self empowers others to do the same. Right?
Not maybe. Not
Yeah,
maybe.
Definitely does.
Not maybe, Mike. I told you this when we had the very first conversation. I remember when we had it, and I was sitting in my car, and you were just scared to death about sharing. You wanted to share your story. You didn't know how. You wanted to talk. You wanted to let it out. You definitely weren't going to do it on video. But, I kept telling you, you inspire so many just by showing up and being you and being the true, real, not to use over words that are used way too much, but genuine, authentic in you, and just putting yourself out there. And you've done that. And I told you then, you inspired me by hearing your story, and that by showing up you would inspire so many, and you have, and you continue to. And this is testament. I mean, right here, and those in the comments, it's like, and so many more each and every time that you show up the way that you do, supporting the way that you do, and bringing people together the way that you do. It is what you do. And you are loved, and you have so many gifts, and your biggest gift is your heart, man. And it's recognized. And I know it's hard to receive. I know it's hard to understand and kind of take it all, but I know you are, and you're doing it the best way that you can. And you're going to keep doing you the way you do, regardless of what anybody thinks. And that's one of the things I love about you most, man, because that's what makes you you.
I want to say something that's like beautiful, that's just like come to my mind, and it takes it on a whole other level, but like it's hard to explain how it's presented itself. But when all cycles of abuse end, like all moments like this in the internet of human connection, which will evolve into ways of being way beyond anything we can imagine or fathom in the future. Like the fact that we're even having this conversation in this manner, in this way, is really like phenomenal. But I'm saying like exponential growth in that way. The documentation of that growth through this medium, it's going to be something that, whether our eyes see it or not, like we are actively documenting the breakdown of breaking cycles of abuse.
Right.
Like this is historical records of discovering truth and divinity and aligning with freedom, like human conscious freedom. Like the possibility of this even happening has never occurred until this moment in time. Not just for us, but just as a human race, you know? And so I really believe that regardless, one day we'll all look back on this video and just look at our present selves and be like, Karina, you were struggling, not knowing how you were going to like pay bills in your 450 square foot apartment at age 24, having this conversation with these random strangers who are beautiful and different in their own ways. And like every single one of us dealing with these things, not knowing like how they're going to unfold. Like one thing you touched on, Michael, is something I think about a lot, that art is the performance of accepting myself. And life is the performance of each of us learning how to just accept ourselves and literally doing that in the presence of one another. And it's like, if that doesn't make you cry, like I would watch this movie. Like I would watch this movie on repeat.
Thank you, Karina.
I guess, I am that vulnerable person, right? Like I'm that person that will just share it all because I just have no fear when it comes to that, and in hopes that maybe it inspires one other person and that it lifts one other person and gives them their voice. And I guess in this case, at least 8 or 7. It's just me being me, right? And I'm finally learning to accept that for what I am and who I am. And there's a lot of deflection in between, and there's a lot of avoidance in between, and there's a lot of hiding behind. And at the end of the day, it just, I'm not worried about the court case on the 9th. I'm not worried about going to court and the hearing and those things, because that's already in place. That's already done, right? Like that's not going to impact me. It's not going to go in a way because it's just not. And it's the day-to-day struggle, right? It's the day-to-day battle of pushing through, overcoming, finding the way through this daily journey of life where we're all going through our own struggles, and so many of us won't voice it. And I feel like in some ways I'm voicing it so others don't have to. And so that others can reflect upon how I voice it and maybe just go internal with it and help themselves. And I guess it's another few bricks off the wall.
Yeah, but this time you had help removing them. So
That's right.
I always have help removing them.
it's true, though.
Reggie, like seriously, like you're the eye in the sky right now. I feel like I'm an evil eye. Stupid movie, but it's a lot, right? Like this world right now is in such chaos, and we're all trying to do the best we can within the chaos, and we're all trying to find our own way through the chaos. And I know that it wouldn't be as easy for any of us if we didn't have each other.
That's right.
And the amount of trust and respect that each of you have for me and I have for you guys is the only reason that this can happen. And it's the only reason that it's happening right now, and it's the only reason that it's happening at this moment live. And I appreciate you guys and respect you guys tremendously for it. I really do.
Oh, we appreciate you too, because you could have asked anybody on this
Yes.
platform to be part of this conversation, but you asked us.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Well, everybody have a good night and let the joy in, because there's chaos, but there's a lot of joy.
Super joy.
Amen.
Yes.
All right, you guys.
All right.
All right, you guys.
Great.
I'm about to pee my pants.
Me too, Raquel.
Thank you.
All right.
Fantastic.
You guys have a good
Bye,
night.
guys.
Oh,
Have a good night.